That's all?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's
Right.
one.
Okay, cool. I think now we got the stream going because all I had to do was re-input the stream key. But just in case, I'm gonna... Let's see.
Yes.
Are we
All
live?
the dice.
Oh. Why is it not showing us live? I don't like that.
What's the Twitch again?
Oh, there we go. We are live now.
Oh, we're
But
live.
it's like going on and going off, which is killing me right now. It's serious
What a dick.
underscore play. There we go. Yeah, we're definitely live. Woohoo! All right, and thank you, Captain Ace, for confirming for us. All right.
Yeah, that looks live.
I'm sorry.
I was just saying it looks live because I popped in and I see everyone's smiling faces.
Yup.
Ah.
Perfect. Yeah, so welcome to week 2 of Serious Playtest. We are testing Pillars, a TTRPG system. I am Casey James, PhD candidate at UWM, and I am the current game master. And I am joined by plenty of lovely people. Can you introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah, I'm Emily. I'm a master's student at UW Milwaukee, and that's it.
I'm Emrys, no affiliation, just a cool kid.
I'm Kip. Chaos Incarnate. Perfect. That's it.
I love that.
My name's Cass. No affiliation.
Right. Was it my turn?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm Brooke. No affiliation.
And last but not least.
And I'm Ren. Also no affiliation.
Awesome. So
Also
last
just a really
week...
cool kid.
Oh, sorry, one more time.
Oh, I said also just a really cool kid.
We're all cool kids here,
The
streaming.
screening is my cat. My cat has no affiliation.
I
Perfect.
love that. So last week we did character creation and kind of understanding the basics of this particular system. I'm curious, does anyone have any questions before we kind of get into the sort of exposition of where we're at?
Just real quick, how do you calculate thresholds?
Yes, so your threshold is going to be your pillar rating.
Okay.
And unless you have a specific tool or other ability that grants +1 to your... Oh, wait, sorry, did you say threshold?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So there's, if you have something that says, like, +1 to your threshold, that you take as a... God, what, it's the...
It's one of the
Assets. There we go. It's like, it's an A word, but I forget. But yeah, if you take it as an
I have
asset...
the tough ones, though.
Yes, you do.
I know it.
So yeah, you would
I'm
add
a
your
tanky
asset.
boy.
Okay.
And then as far... Well, we'll get to that when we get to rolling. As a heads up, I would like to try and avoid combat today, because I really would like to have us really focus on trying to use our other skills and abilities, and that's kind of really going to be the focus of today's sort of mechanics-based playtest.
That is perfectly fine with me.
And I think that combat is scary for everyone, so we get used to doing the easier stuff, and then we can work our way up to combat either at the end of next session or the third session. What do you want, Kip?
I do have a question.
Yeah?
Okay, give me a moment. Let me ask the question. Okay. So for the skills, you can put them under anything, correct?
Yes.
Like-
Go ahead.
Anything that it makes sense for.
Okay. So would endurance be okay with mechanics? Because you're having to fix a fucking car. Like,
Sure. Yeah, just being able to just
Okay,
like turn
perfect.
that wrench over and over again.
where did my pencil go? I lost my pencil.
Oh.
Found it.
I hear that from my middle schoolers all the time. I actually, sorry for the small tangent, like, I felt a piece of my soul die, because I had a student lend 2 pencils to 2 students that didn't have pencils, and I looked at both, I was like, you guys better give that back to her because I know what it's like to lose a pencil because someone borrowed it and never gave it back, and these are good pencils. And they're like, yeah, we'll do it. And then one of them just fucking took it. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Anyway. Sorry. And I felt bad because I looked at her and I'm like, it's lost. I owe you one. But we're not getting that one back on my friend. Any other questions before we start?
I'm sure
It's
we'll
mainly about
think
the
of
skills.
10
Yeah.
things to come up.
Like they make sense and all that kind of stuff. Would that just come up during play, or do I just say them now?
What do you mean by say them now? Like, are you letting us know above
Yeah,
table?
letting you know that. Letting above table. Like, would this work?
If you have a question on how you want to use it, then yeah, you can ask me above table. But you don't have to give me a laundry list
Until
of
the
your
moment.
skills.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Until the moment, then we'll do it.
Sounds good. So last week we decided that we were going to be. One second, I have to share screen. This one. You were going to be in Central Park, going on a tour, a walking tour, chasing down this haunted area that we know that Flax lives at, and we don't want the people bothering Flax. And you showed up through, kind of varying levels of interest in the tour itself. Thane, I know that you were just chilling on your motorcycle when you saw your friends kind of hovering around the what's it called, like the horse stables where they have the carriage ride, and that was the meeting place of the what's it called, the tour. Tide, how would Tide get involved with a walking tour, a walking haunted tour? Would it be a happenstance thing, or would she be going like kind of like, because we said that you were a celebrity, but we weren't sure like what kind. Like, would this be like I'm an influencer, so I'm gonna make a little video about this for my TikTok, or is it you got a text from one of your friends and you're just joining along for the lulz? Like, how did you get involved?
We have 2 TikTokers
It
in
was-
this group.
Yeah.
Like several.
Actually, we have several.
TikTok collabs, love it.
Avery does
It
TikTok.
would definitely be. I love that. It'll definitely be like oh look, I can get more like followers or more a more broad audience if I go to this haunted tour and like film it.
Perfect. And then Flax, I assume that you don't want them by your home. This particular tour frequents your area a lot. So would you be at the tour at the start to kind of guide people away from it when it comes to the part of the tour where they get close to your little hovel, or would you be would this be you're chilling now, but then we'll pick you up when we get to that point of the tour?
I think they'll start kind of at the beginning with everyone.
Sounds good. So the gang is all here, and the little SpongeBob meme, the gang's all here, guys.
Oh no.
Sitting here as this history undergraduate, this short man with a funny accent. He's got a red overcoat, and like his hair is like so blonde it's practically white. And he's walking around with a clipboard going, what is name? What is your name? Okay, that is your name. Did you pay? And then he kind of walks up to Thane. Hello, sir. Did you pay for this tour?
Thane is just looking at him.
That is a response, but not one I am expecting. Did you pay for this tour, sir?
I'm gonna look over at Robert and say, "You owe me one."
I don't know, you shit.
Who here?
Oh.
Sorry. I was in DM mode, already thinking of like a mechanic, and then the response took a second lap in my head.
Oh, you shit.
Who here has any sort of skill, broad skill in like history or things that are feasibly intelligence based?
Avery has a broad skill in lying.
I have a
Which is
broad skill in
intelligence-based.
investigation and deception.
The two of you being ones that have skills in lying and deception, please make me a check based on whatever skill attribute you did that for now. That will be a roll based on the pillar rating that you have associated with that, and the target number successes you have to make is at least 1. So your target number is based on the amount of points you have in that pillar, and you just have to roll that number or below at least once. And the amount
The first roll.
Oh, I see.
and the amount
What's
of
the first
dice you may
roll?
roll is the amount of
In there.
dice that you have in that pillar.
Okay, so
So
we're
Unless
rolling
I-
our pillar rating, like that number, that many dice.
Mm-hmm.
so it's voice, right?
And
It depends
it'd
on
be
what
in
you
voice.
put it under.
Okay,
well, if
'cause
it's intellect based, then wouldn't
Mhm.
it be the voice pillar?
Yeah.
And then I also have the silver-tongued asset, which adds a +1 to any roll for lying. So I think I have to roll below.
So I'm going to
Once?
say we'll let this apply because it's not because I think the spirit of that rule. I mean the rules as written is when you are making a lie, you use that particular bonus. I think the spirit of the rule, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, devs, if you're watching. But I think the spirit can also apply to sussing out lies as well, being silver tongued.
I have detecting lies 1. Does that?
Yep, that counts.
Okay.
So what number are we trying to roll? What's our target number?
Your target number is your pillar points in that particular skill, if I'm not mistaken.
No, because the target number
Oh.
would be like it's the DC.
Ah,
Kind of
okay.
thing.
One
What's
second.
the target number?
So it's based on like how easy he is to lie to, I guess, basically.
1 second. The target number of any roll is equal to the character's score in a trait plus any applicable skills.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's how that works.
Yup. So what you're
So
going
score in the trait.
so then we add the skills to that. So let's say we were doing an intelligence based roll, and you had no skills involved in that, and your that particular trait was 5. Then the target number is 5. But if you have a skill with a rank of 1, then the target number is now 6.
Okay. So my target number is my intellect plus my skill level in the skills that I'm using. Okay. That makes sense.
And we need to get, what, 1 success on the dice that we're rolling?
Correct. So the most common difficulty is 1 in this particular system, and the difficulty is how many successes you need for something. So the example that they use is like climbing a tree is a difficulty of 1. Climbing a tree that doesn't have limbs that for a while up is difficulty 2. When it's wet and slippery, it's a difficulty 3. Did we lose someone? We lost someone. Then they're back. Welcome back. So right now this is a very easy roll that we're starting off with.
So Avery got 3 successes
Beautiful.
for lying.
What did the rest of the party get? Who rolled?
Robert got 1 success.
Sounds good. And then Thane.
Oh, I was rolling? Oh, I just said detecting lies as... Oh, okay. Wait.
Especially
many
since he's
dice do I
talking
need
to
to roll?
you. Okay, so
Yeah,
what
so your social skill?
so you put under social?
Yes.
Which is I really should have this memorized by now, but I don't. Which
Social is also in your voice
Voice.
pillar.
voice. Okay.
Voice.
So you're going to your pillar points for voice plus however many ranks in detecting lies you took. It'd be either a 1 or a 2.
So the pillar points are the the intellect, social, and willpower together, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Okay. So that's a lot more dice to roll. Oh my lord, I'm rolling 8 dice.
Also, just to make sure I have this correct.
Yeah.
Oh, my internet cut out for a half second there. To make sure I have this correct. So if you say you have a broad skill, like a broad skill in lying, and then you have a focused lying skill.
Mm-hmm.
So
you would add that, but what was I gonna say? The highest that a target number could go to is 8, I believe. So.
Oh well, it only gets me to a 5 anyways. So. Cool.
Okay. I have 7 successes and 1 9.
Oh my god. So on the bright side, you didn't have any failures, because a 9 would be an extreme failure. But
Yeah.
luckily you didn't fail any of the other dice. So
Yeah.
you are safe.
I was like, if I did it correctly.
Where did you get 9 from?
I imagine he's got 3, 3, and 2 for his voice stuff.
Oh, I was adding the detecting lies and the 2 points that I have in that.
Here, 1 second.
Or
Let me.
no.
1 second. Let me go down to the character sheet.
Then I
And I
might
know
need
that
to.
this is the reason why I had to start with a very easy thing because of how complicated learning a new system is. So bear with me while I go to the character. Character sheet.
I think you should roll the number dice equal to your pillar.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen.
Oh, you don't add those two.
No, your skills affect the target number, not your
how many dice you roll.
Number of dice.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in the chat so people can read it.
Go ahead. As a heads up, because I'm streaming through Discord, I can't easily pop over to chat. So like I have my phone here so I can do that. So if I'm looking at my phone, it's not because I'm not what was I gonna say? Paying attention.
I'm going to some notes.
Hurry up.
Give me a sec.
Just real quick, does a 0 then count as a
0 is a
20?
0. Actually, no. The almost the opposite. A 0 is just it's a failure. It counts as nothing for that, as opposed to the 10. But did you get any 9s?
Me, no.
Okay. If you fail a roll and you get a 9, then it's considered an extreme failure. And then something will be sort of like as determined by the DM, and then so as determined, there's like a box of stuff that the DM can choose to have apply to you, and either you or another player, or sorry, not you, either the DM or another player can sort of narrate how that failure looks like. I prefer to let the other players do that rather than having the DM describe it, unless I have like a really cool idea and I'll pitch it, and see what y'all think.
That's fair. I didn't get any 0s. I was just wondering, since 9 is supposed to be an epic failure, would 0 then be an epic success? But I'm guessing that there are no extreme successes in this game.
I did not notice that.
I sent over my
character sheet.
Kaz is
not that there has to be, but
yeah, that'd be 6 dice.
That'd be 6. It'd be 6 dice. Okay, then I actually rolled 2 extra dice, and I already picked up all the dice. So, you want me to redo it?
Not right now. I think that we kind of learned how we do the rules, and we'll probably have to learn it again. And then again.
We're gonna have to keep
again.
Going through it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, with the amount of successes that all of you got, this is a free walking tour. And this little shit has this big grin on his face as he's going up to the people on the tour.
I'm gonna rev my engine at him.
Knowing that Avery, having gone to school here. He like literally just graduated.
Uh-huh.
He's just gonna be like, really? Are you here out for a school project? I didn't think they started charging for that.
What, you think tuition is free? You think that I am here out of the goodness of my heart?
I could have sworn it was for credit.
He looks over at you and points a finger and he goes, "What is that noise doing here? You should park that. We're not able to find parking. I know parking is impossible in the city, but this is motorcycle. Put it away. You're scaring the horses."
This is actually his comfort vehicle. I need you to stop.
What, you think parking is free?
Do you think parking is free?
No. But you cannot bring bike in the park.
People bring their bicycles all the time. I don't know what you're talking
Not
about.
ones with motors in them.
I've seen
Sir.
them.
I'm gonna get off the bike and say shove it, and just say go.
Go where? I am leading this tour.
No, he is. I'm gonna point to Robert.
No.
That's what I heard.
Hey.
He is not leading tour. Are you student at John Jay? Because you look like old man.
No, I'm at Jingleheimer Smith.
No, that is not university here. Perhaps online university in Arizona, but not here.
Avery's just trying so hard not to crack up at this point.
I can't believe this guy believes in Arizona.
I'm live streaming this whole thing on TikTok.
I love this. And he looks over at Tide when she says that, and he goes, "TikTok? Oh my god. Are you Tide?"
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Duh.
And like he immediately just kind of like brushes off like the front of his jacket, and then he adjusts his name tag, and you can see the name tag. It says Igor Yarsis, and he kind of
Yarsis!
stands up straight, and he goes, "Well, it is pleasure to meet you, Tide. I am big fan of your content. I hope you and your followers enjoy this tour very well." And you immediately, because of Tide's presence, he's now no longer like harassing the other people for spare change, and he doesn't seem to care as much that Thane has a fucking motorcycle on a sidewalk. Like I'm just laughing at this. Like, have you like there's no motorcycles in Central, like in the part that you're at, you're literally next to horse stables where there's like cops, meandering about with their horses, and then there's also like the people that do the carriage rides around Central Park. So I'm just laughing at Thane revving his.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I'm gonna go find a spot to park if there is one.
We're for the sake of ease, Thane is able to find a metered spot that has 2 hours left in it, so you just kind of reap the benefits of someone else's meter. You're just like,
thank you.
And so, just to kind of put you where you're at. So you are, that's the wrong thing. I just moved.
Oh, no.
There we go. All right, so y'all are right here. And if we want to do the Google Earth, 1 second. Here we go. So y'all are chilling right here. It's a street that's kind of like shared with some cars, but like you go up here and it's walking goddamn passageways. And so he will gesture for you to follow, and he goes, all right, everyone. Please listen up. I have loud voice, but if you need me to repeat anything, please let me know. I am here for your entertainment and learning experience. Today. Yes. I have. Oh, sorry, I'm peeking my microphone. Pretend he says it a little louder. I have loud voice. But if you need me to repeat anything, I am happy to help. I am here for your entertainment and learning experience. My name is Igor Yarsis. I am student at John Jay University, which is in downtown Manhattan. If you have not if you are not local here, and at this point, like, you're accompanied by about like 10 others, and some, at varying levels of like not from New Yorkness. Like, some people definitely look and like they look European. They have, that sort of like style, and they're, speaking French, like, so it's kind of obvious that they're, not from here. But then you also see like the, this family that's dressed in like obnoxious like Americana sort of outfit, which, like, no one in their right mind around here would dress like that, but they're definitely here on some sort of family vacation. It's the end of summer right now, so it's pretty hot during the day, but the sun is setting, so it's like cool 70s light breeze. And he will gesture for you to follow, and he walks up, closer, rather into the park and away from the street. And he will go, "Today, we are going to learn about the ghost here. There are many ghosts, but today we are focusing on Macy Grace. She is a ghost that harasses the people who sleep in the park. She is also known to locals as Macy Gracie, who gets up in your facey." And those, sorry.
I heard she's actually an FBI plant.
And
Really? Tell me more, Robert.
yes, rumor has it that
No. I asked him.
oh, what? Why aren't you
I
asking
defer to the expert. He, of course, is in college.
Yes,
Oh.
I am college expert.
He went to college so he can speak to ghosts.
I see you're a man of culture as well.
I did not. I'm not. I am a history major. I do not speak to ghosts. I merely learn about them, and please just don't harass me. I swear this is just for credit. Like, I'm just trying to get by.
And keep going.
Fair.
Rumor has it that she was from the Upper East Side in her life. She died in the mid 80s. And in her life, because she harasses the people that sleep in the park, we can surmise that she must be from upper class and supported architectures that were anti-homeless. And since the structures for historical and preservation reasons and ecological reasons cannot be implemented in the park, she takes it upon herself to haunt them, wakes them up, and scares them away.
What a bitch.
Is who has skills in lore?
What lore?
So I'm walking Betsy, right? She's my familiar.
Mhm.
She looks like a little French bull terrier. And she allows me lore on ghosts while
that.
I have her with me. So I have lore ghosts.
Please roll me lore ghosts, and the target. The difficulty is going to be 2.
So what pillar should I use for this?
So
I
what?
forget.
So what skill did you assign the lore ghosts to?
I did not realize that I had to.
We had to assign lore?
Do we? 1 second.
I don't know.
I assume that was a.
I thought that was a separate thing.
That is an asset, is it not? 1 second. Lore prepares keepers. Keepers use lore to gain reflexive on the unworld. Okay, that is a skill. 1 second. I'm trying to see. Lists of lore. Okay, so this is under tools. Give me 1 second. Tools start on, oh wait, lore. So that's 85, and then I also want to find tools 72. Okay, so lore. Information. Lore can be used to modify target numbers when dealing directly with something that is covered with lore. And then let's scroll back to tools. Tools or knowledge. So what I am going to do is, for the sake of expediency, I'm going to make an executive decision and make a note to think about this later. And I am going to say that this is going to be it's going to be an intellect-based roll. So you're going to roll your voice pillar and add whatever ranks you have in lore ghosts.
Okay. So I think for a familiar, she just counts as 1.
Sounds good. And I'm going to make a note to myself.
Because it says it counts as access for a lore of the tier of the familiar. Oh wait, no. Lore of the tier of the familiar?
1 second.
Okay, so your lore tier equals your familiar tier. Your familiar is probably tier 1 right now.
No,
so your
it's
lore
tier 2.
Oh, 2, so you would equal to 2. See here, Ghost Lore 1, your TNs for detecting spirits and phenomena by 2. Once per game, the GM will warn you of some danger that is otherwise undetected. That's pretty cool. That doesn't say anything about if lore affects target numbers in here, so GM's call.
I would say that because it's not a skill, I don't think it would affect the target number, so we're just going to keep it to your pillar rating. And you're going to have 2 successes.
Okay. And
that's the difference between a cult skill and having a lore.
So the TN you said is what, 2?
So the target number is whatever your pillar rating is.
Okay.
So what's
that
your
is
voice pillar?
My voice pillar is 6.
Okay, so that will be your target number unless you have any assets that add like plus whatever to your target number.
I don't think it does for ghosts.
Sounds good. So
and then I roll 6 dice and I try to get at least 2 successes, correct?
Correct. And a success counts as 6 or lower.
Okay, so I have, let's see, a 6 or lower you said, so that is 3 successes.
Nice.
And then I have a 9, but I don't know if that counts yet.
Give me 1 second, because I know that there's 1 second. Failure. Extreme. Whenever a roll fails, and also nope. Okay. So if you had gotten no successes and you got a 9, it'd be another story. But because you succeeded, you're good.
Okay, cool.
But I would like to flavor it as like there's one thing that like, because I want to work with the mechanics of failure, but more of a narrative based rather than an actual failure. So I would like the party to think of like what's like something that like just kind of like makes it a little less successful in the moment. But Robbie, you would know, being a ghost hunter and who's extensively worked in the area, even though you're not originally from here. Macy Grace was quite the opposite. Perhaps you even knew some people who knew her in life, being one of the older members of the party. But she was someone that died here of death, cold.
Died of death.
Died of death, yes. Freezing to
Yeah.
death. That's what happens when you think of 2 different ways of saying the same thing at once. But yes, she died of death, freezing in the cold. because she lost her home after divorcing her husband.
Mm,
And you don't know necessarily why she haunts, but she was homeless. So the fact that like she's being, you know, passed off, and you would know that it's a common myth around
uh-huh.
here that she was an upper class person who hated the homeless, but in reality she died
Okay.
homeless here.
So then when he says that, Robert will go, hey, don't you start slandering my girl Macy.
I am not slandering. This is what
No,
I
no, 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 no. She was a homeless woman who died in
uh
this park.
no. And he pulls
And the
out his
no, the police
what?
covered her death up by blaming it on the upper class.
Uh, oh my! Are you conspiracy theorist?
No, I just
Where
know things.
I thought
Not a
that your
conspiracy
hair
if you're
was
right.
gray because you were old as shit, but I see it as your tinfoil hat.
Those don't even work, buddy.
Are you
And
sure? Go ahead, Thane.
Dave is taking a very strong sip of whatever he has to drink with him. This is gonna be a long night.
He pulls out his backpack and he opens up the little like handbook of like New York City ghost stories, and like you've
Mm-hmm.
seen this, like this is the
Yeah.
textbook that and you hate this, like
Yeah.
any keeper hates this book.
Rolls eyes
As you can
heavily.
see here, it says that on page 274, that Macy Grace is the upper class woman who died in the mid 80s, and he's just,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
he's not,
Kid,
he's
that
like
book
literally
no,
cite
kid,
quoting.
sources?
who wrote that book? Huh?
Oh, God.
Huh?
Oh
The son
god.
of an ex-cop. So we know. We know he was just spinning nothing but lies and slander on my girl Macy, alright? I know the truth. She actually wakes up homeless people in this area to make sure that they don't get caught by the police who are searching for them.
That sounds like Marxist propaganda.
God damn it.
I'm sorry, Marxist propaganda in a capitalist state?
What you're spouting, yes.
Okay,
How do you
buddy.
know Macy wasn't a Marxist?
Yeah, she might have been a Marxist. I didn't know her personally in
If
life.
she,
I only know her in death. But I know
she
Macy's got my back and everyone else's, except for yours, little man.
Christ. And he looks at you and looks around, and like the tourists are like looking around, and this one of the people, like the dad
poor
from the
kid.
family, walks over to you and he goes, howdy there, friend. You seem to
Good
be
evening, compadre.
really interested in I almost yarsisted up. You seem really interested in ghost stories and all that stuff, and while it's entertaining that you're yelling at this poor student, it's upsetting my son. So if
What
we
upsets me more is the misinformation that is spread to the young people of today, alright? If I see a falsehood being spout, I must correct it.
I'm gonna glare at his son.
Oh my god.
It just feels right.
Holy shit. Yeah, the
We're not
son
this evil normally.
They were just, why am I friends with these people?
The son is like a 9-year-old kid. He's like dressed in khaki cargo pants and a fucking Among Us shirt. He's currently like taking pictures. Like he's clearly not upset. The dad is the one who's upset. And he's just taking pictures of a squirrel by a tree. And he like turns around, just it was Flax that glared at him.
Yes.
He turns around and jumps when he sees Flax glaring. And did you want, was something wrong with the squirrel?
What squirrel?
Flax has been continuously just grumbling and just over this.
Let's just keep going with the tour, everybody.
Amber's gonna look at the kid and just be like, just ignore him. He's just grumpy, and he's gonna point in the direction of like a rabbit.
And the kid grins and kind of runs over and, snaps a few pictures of that. And the family does eventually, kind of, the dad, after getting just fucking demolished by Robbie, corrals his family back together and moves towards the back of the group. And Igor will walk you towards, at long last, to the first fucking crossroad of Central Park, 20 feet away.
God, we are
and
terrible people.
he's over here. We have the pathway to the west exit of the park. It goes to Colonist Circle, formerly known as Columbus Circle, new name TBD. In the meantime, Colonist Circle. Over here, we have Central Drive. You know that it is Central Drive because of the way it is. It's probably called Central Drive because it's in Central Park. If we please mind the cars only cross when the red hand is not up. Okay, red hand is gone, let us go. And he kind of hurries you over and walks deeper into the woods. And it's at this point that you're getting close to where Flax's home is. And he goes, all right, over here is Macy's favorite stump. Sometimes in the dead of night, you can see her sitting here reading book. That is definitely not a Communist Manifesto. It is Capitalism 101 because she is a capitalist of the upper class. Then over here, and he kind of walks over towards a small pond. In the summer months, if you come here between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m., sometimes you can see her feeding the ducks, but in the winter months, you will see her skating. Rumor has it that when she was child, her father brought her here on the daily to teach her how to skate, and that is how she lost a single finger in an unfortunate skating accident.
Incorrect. Her father died in World War II.
He was born.
Anyway, her father lived a long and healthy life, dying only.
Who's your professor, kid? I gotta talk to this person.
Oh God.
What?
Definition.
What is wrong with you?
There's
You're
a
just
lot.
spouting misinformation.
I am not spouting misinformation, sir.
This is why I want to get to the source of the problem. You obviously are a child and do not know of which you speak. And so, who is your professor?
I cannot give that information out, sir. But if you have issue, I am sure if you look up Routledge Press and emails their editor of this textbook, they would be happy to address your concerns with the information here.
Ugh.
How does
Yeah,
one
write your own
sing in a
textbook.
skating
Oh,
accident?
sorry. That was 3 people at the same time. 1 second. So, Dad, you go first.
How does one lose a finger in a skating accident?
Very easily, kid.
Yes,
Very
please tell us
easily.
the gory details of this accident.
I cannot, for I am quite squeamish. I will let your imagination do the work.
So what happens is you kind of trip and fall while you have the skates, and he just is going on about how
Oh, yes.
one can lose a finger to your ice skates.
And
Which
Flax is like,
I
gasping
definitely
them
know,
up.
being a Californian.
And
I mean,
Flax
honest-
definitely doesn't know the real story, but is definitely adding in the most disgusting details to try to get people away from this place.
I love that.
That is looking appropriately mortified.
Avery's gonna. He has his camera out and he's gonna take a picture of the group, but it's pointed at Yarsis and he purposely turns the flash on.
Oh my god. Um.
Oh,
Ye-
sorry. I'm so sorry.
ah.
That was an accident. Turns my flash off.
Sir. Please. I am just trying to get by. It is bad enough that your old man friend is harassing me.
Yeah,
Is that your dad?
You know the
Sir?
punishment for flashing people in Central Park, kid.
What is the punishment exactly? Takes a picture of Robert.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna elbow him in the ribs.
Oh, fair. Apt punishment.
Flax. Let me get a 1 second. I have to go back to the character page. I would like you to please give me either a creativity roll or a social roll to try and discuss the people away, like where they kind of want to move on to the next part of the tour.
Do a creativity roll.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be I roll now two dice? Just
Yep.
You should have.
So what? It's going to be your soul pillar. So how many points do you have in the soul pillar?
4.
Okay, so it's going to be 4 dice. I'm going to need 2 successes. Your target number is 4, unless you have something that gives you more.
I don't think so.
And did you put any skills in creativity at all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm using a digital dice now. Now it's being. Give me a second.
Thank you, chat, for that. Sorry, I needed to say the last response in chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there were 3 successes.
What was I gonna say? And then what were the numbers?
3, 0, 4, and 8.
Beautiful. I love that. So man, I wanted to have the kid be
This poor kid.
well, no. Here's the thing. I wanted him to be interested. But I think that like, so what happens is like you gross out, the rest of the people, and the kid like hangs around a little bit. But noticing that like he's really interested in the gory aspect, you change the story a little bit. And what is Flax change the story to that makes the kid lose interest?
I'm imagining that it's talking if the ice skating incident talking about how you can still find pieces of her dismembered flesh amongst the park, and then he suddenly shifts to like, and it was also a very he tries to spin it into like a romantic comedy lens instead, and he's like, it was also a incredible bonding family moment, and it was very emotional.
I love that. And yeah, he takes his phone and puts his head in, just kind of starts texting his friends on Discord, and will make his way further along. The rock formation where you call home is now left alone at this point, and Yarsis looks around, and his shoulders drop a little, and he goes, "Oh, this was supposed to be exploration point." And he looks at his watch. Zator was supposed to spend at least 20 minutes here. What should I do? What should I do? And he's kind of thinking. And then he looks over at Robbie for a minute, but then kind of doesn't want to ask him for help. Like, because, he's like, you seem like you know stuff, but, like, I also don't want your help. So then he looks over at Tide, and he goes, Would you like, you know what we can do? We can let you explore area on your own while I take rest of crew to get Dirty Water Dog at a stand over there. And he will usher everyone except Tide. Tide, you can still go with the party if you want. But like he's clearly trying to tick off that he spent 20 minutes letting people explore for the sake of like completing the tour in its entirety. But he's really just taking everyone to get hot dogs. Do you stay to take pictures, or do you go with the rest of the crew?
I'm gonna stay and take pictures.
Sounds good. Rest of the party, do you go with Yarsis to get hot dogs, or do you try and bully your way to stay with Tide?
I'm not going to get any hot dog. I don't have enough money for that.
They're just $1.
Times
He
are
is
rough, man.
living in a mechanic shop.
Do you want $1?
Do you want a hot
No,
dog?
I'm good. No, I'm good.
All right.
Let's get him a hot dog. Either.
You want a hot dog?
I'm gonna get a hot
Absolutely.
dog because the dirt in that water
I'm gonna
builds
go-
character.
I'm gonna go buy Dad and also
Holy
I'm gonna buy
shit.
Thane a hot dog while I'm over there.
I'm here for it. So you all go to the hot dog stand. And there's a long line as it is, and there's 10 people in front of you from the tour, then there's you. And who's the first party member in line to get the hot dog?
I
I'm gonna
pushed
say
Dad forward.
I was gonna say Avery because he's paying.
Sounds
most of
good.
them.
Yeah, I think Dad gets pushed forward, but Avery, being the sugar daddy of the group,
Yeah.
yeah, paying all of what, like $10 for these dirty ass fucking hot dogs, and you are all set to start your order when this streaking, fiery thing rips through the sky. It's like a you know when you like drop a heavy rock into a still pond and you get that plump and then the ripples. It's like that, except breaking through what you can visibly tell is the sky, ripping through some sort of like fabric that you were kind of like as keepers aware existed, but like just in the day-to-day life don't really have to worry about. And it rips through that and streaks down off the east coast of Manhattan, striking Roosevelt Island, where you know that the power grid for the entire city is. And as it reverberates heavily from the impact, you watch to your left as the lights in the building, as the sun sets, go out immediately. Street lamps, dark. And as the last few rays of light set down below the trees, you're left in complete darkness. And you hear some shouts, like people like scared and, you know, murmuring, but Giuseppe the hot dog man goes, "Holy fucking shit. Alright, who wants a hot dog?"
Yeah, I'll take one.
one.
I didn't know the government was hurting hard enough that they can't spare the coin for sky technicians. Am I right, guys?
Oh my god.
Sky technicians? Is that what we're missing out on? Sky tech. Okay. This is,
Yeah, we're
this
in
is
a
what
dome,
happens when they
kid.
decide to cancel Skynet.
Exactly.
The Star Wars program, it was necessary. As we're getting hot dogs.
Oh my god. Yeah.
We needed more technicians up there, man. They were not, you know, they didn't have enough up there. And now look. All the plebs on the ground are suffering.
Tide, you're in the middle of live streaming to TikTok, and your data fails. Your live
Okay.
is cut short. Um, and you do not have service on your cell phone right now. What do you do?
I start freaking out. I scream. I don't want to scream and damage y'all's ears, but I'm like, what am I gonna do?
I think the only person that was near you was me.
Yep. Thane, you hear that. Like you see just, oh, look at that. And then, boom! Lights go out. People are like, kind of like, not freaking out, but like there's definite, like, mild panic going on. And then you hear Tide go, what am I gonna do?
No, I don't have a knife on me.
I'm just gonna walk over. Stand up. Come on. You film everything. This will give you a break. Come on.
I'm gonna get her an extra hot dog.
Yeah, can we like use our phones as flashlights to make our way over to them with hot dogs?
I just take out my Zippo and light it.
That works.
There we go. Yeah. You hear behind you Yarsis going, all right, everyone, tour's canceled. Emergency meeting for the whole city. Get home safe, everybody. He's just packing up. He is not paid. He is not going to. This is not his problem anymore.
Make sure you get inside before the secret police come out.
And
There are secret police?
when
Of
Robbie,
course there are.
when Robbie says that, he looks up at you. He goes, "I'm not on the clock anymore. Shut the fuck up." And walks out.
Good for you, Igor.
Never
I wish I
mind.
could
This is my
live
favorite
stream
NPC.
that.
What'd you say?
Yarthus, top tier. That's why he was my favorite NPC.
He's the
Kids
best
these
NPC.
Yep.
And with your Zippo lighter, you are able to light the way to find yourself back with Tide and Thane. And it's at that point, Robbie, that you're familiar. And here's something funny. I was working with middle schoolers during the week, and we were telling each other ghost stories, and they're like, yeah, and ghosts and dogs see ghosts, like that's why you get dogs, so, like they see ghosts, like that was like the only reason apparently why his family had dogs, was because they see ghosts, which I think is adorable.
I would also like to interject that her name is Betsy.
Yes. And so Betsy, you watch the ears perk up.
What do you see, girl?
And she kind of nudges her nose in the direction of the tree stump. And through the darkness, you see a figure sitting on a stump and reading.
Is she reading the Communist Manifesto?
Quick.
My first thought.
Mine too.
Please let it be the Communist Manifesto.
You can't tell from here, but you can try and make a perception check.
I will do so. How many successes would you say that I need?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I would say 1.
1? Okay.
Well, he does that. We're just like, Tide, then here you go. Hands them their hot dogs.
1 success!
Nice. It is the Communist
thanks.
Manifesto.
I fucking knew it!
And Macy is sitting on the stump reading. Flax, this person is the bane of your existence. You've not seen her so clearly before. You've only ever heard her. But she tries to make you leave every fucking night. She is annoying. And the frustrating thing is, like, this is, you've dealt with her for so long, since you started living in this rock formation, but you never got to see her. And it strikes you as a little odd that she is shining so clearly right now. A ghostly bluish grayish aura surrounding her, like the only bit of light that you could get besides Robbie's Zippo lighter, and the moon that is partially hidden by the clouds. Um, so in a way, like even though she's annoyed you so much in the past, there's almost a bit of comfort in the fact that there's just a light source for you, whereas the rest of the world is kind of like just dark. What do you all do?
I'm going to invoke one of my powers,
Uh-huh.
and it's a summoning power.
Yeah.
And I can hear and speak with spirits.
Nice. Does that cost anything?
That's what I'm going to check. Cost 1p, so
Mm-hmm.
I can take that from anywhere.
1 second. Can you tell me the name of the power again?
Summoning one, the voice.
Uh, oh, it's your path power. That's why. 1 second.
Yes. Oh no, it's a
Uh,
secret power.
secret. Okay, 1 second. I just need to see what page that is.
Secret power.
Thank you. 66. Um, 1 pillar point. No, 1p. 1 second. Let me just see. Ooh. Yeah, that's weird. I guess that would be any one.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure if it's marked with a P, it means you can take it from anywhere, but it
Yeah.
has to be from the same pillar because what power you use determines, like if you're attacking someone, it determines what gets attacked. So it has to be from the same column, but you can take it from any column
Yeah.
if it just says P.
Sounds good. So yeah, you can subtract that from any column of your choice.
Done.
And so you now hear, once you kind of invoke this ability, you can hear her humming A Bicycle Built for Tool. 2, not Tool. As she is reading her book.
Huh.
It's like unmuting the TV.
Yeah. I'm gonna just start walking up.
Mm-hmm. And
Hello.
I will accompany him in case there is danger.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
She looks up as Thane and Robbie approaches, and when Thane looks at her and says hello, she goes, "Oh, you can hear me."
Yes, I can.
She looks over. Is that one your friend?
Which one?
That one. Flax.
Yes, he is.
He's gonna catch a cold out here. He should go to the shelter on 4th and 22nd. They have beds.
Flax is just gonna awkwardly shout from across the street, "Tell her to leave me alone."
Flax, why don't you go to the shelter? They actually have heat.
I like my rocks.
That's fair.
Less people, more rocks.
Well,
Amen to that. Rocks are better than people.
Just
give
like
me a
reindeer.
moment. Give me a moment. I need to reorganize my
No, reindeer
brain.
hate our guts.
Well, he really likes to stay in his rock. That's. I don't know if you can understand them. Can you?
Mm-hmm. But they never understand me.
Oh.
They just get scared. I try to tell them
Hmm.
where the shelters are. And where the places to eat are.
I'm
And the
gonna
different
turn around. I'm
vendors
gonna
that
look.
give out food. and where to find the dumpsters where they dump out fresh food, so you can eat.
Huh. Good to know. I'm gonna turn around and look at the two TikTokers and be like, "None of you are filming this."
Uh,
They
no
wouldn't
service.
show up.
And like I'm like waving my phone around.
You can still take a video. Okay, turn back around and start
Grids
talking
down,
again.
kid.
Magical
What do you
creatures do
expect them
not
to do?
show up on video.
Really?
Avery's magical creatures do not show up on video. It doesn't work.
Some of them do, kids. Some of them do.
Most of them don't. The fog breaks it. We all know that.
As Avery brings up the fog, you kind of have like a moment of revelation. Can I get an intellect check?
Oh
from
no, did the fog
everyone?
break? Oh no.
And if you have a skill in it, let me know what it is, and I'll let you know if it's applicable to this role. But it's going to be an intellect check.
That skill's breaking and entering.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
My intellect
So-
is cooking, so
I've got automobile mechanics.
You got what?
Automobile
mechanics? No.
So what's the difficulty?
The difficulty is going to be 2.
I have investigation broad and occult broad.
Occult.
Okay, so
Okay.
that raises my target number by 2.
That's 3 successes.
Yes.
Okay.
wait.
So
Okay,
Ooh, let's go Ren first.
okay, so I missed like the first chunk of this, so I need to walk through the like how to do this, that type of thing.
Cool.
Okay.
So we are going to do an intelligence check, which is based in voice. So, what skills, if any, do you have in intellect?
Just breaking and entering.
Okay. Yep. You answered that already. My bad. So
Okay.
that skill won't be applicable to this role. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll an equal number to of dice to your voice rating, and your target number is going to be your voice rating. I forget whether or not you add your intellect to it as well. So let me double check that. No, you don't. You don't. It's just your pillar rating.
Okay.
And you said that zeros are nothing, right? Not
Correct.
a success.
I mean, they count as a success. It's just
Oh, okay. They're not.
It's like
Super success.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I rolled a 7, 0, 2, and 2 6s.
And what's your voice rating?
It is 5.
Okay, so you would have 1 success, which means that the roll is failed, but because you didn't have any 9s in that, you don't have an extreme failure. So like I would say like you get a bad feeling, but you don't know exactly what's going on. Thane, you look like you had a question.
Okay, so I think I did it right. I hope so. I'm gonna walk. So it was 6 dice because I have a 2 in intellect, 2 in social, 2 in willpower.
Yep.
Correct. Okay, it should be good. Then I have a 1, a 5, 2 zeros, an 8, and a 9.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, you passed the thing, and the 9 doesn't matter because you passed the difficulty of 2.
Okay.
I have 5 successes.
Holy fucking shit! Nice. So Thane and Robbie, the two of you are very acutely aware that something was broken, or like I mean, you did see something broken. That whatever that was that hit Roosevelt Island, which is accessible from here, but we'll get to that in a moment. That seemed to increase the fog because like the fog levels typically throughout the whole city as a whole is like a 0 to a 1 at best. If you go to particularly haunted areas, it's maybe like a 2.5 to 3. But you can just sense that the fog is stronger than you've experienced anywhere ever. And this is just kind of like the area, like not like, and you get the sense like with that many successes that like it's like the city. It's like this entire. You don't know how far, but you get the sense that it is so grand that you're not just gonna walk, you know, to your sanctuary and be like, all right, we're good now. No, like the fog is everywhere as far as you know right now.
Yeah, this is good.
Where's your truck parked?
Close. I don't actually know where my truck is parked, but I would have tried to park as close as I can. However, given New York, that could be like 7 blocks away. That could be 13 blocks away.
Yeah, but I also feel like Robbie's that asshole that will park it in any open spot and suffer the police tickets and never pay and then just like change his plates.
No, he's got money. He'll pay.
Okay. So I would say that you're parked pretty close, like maybe like 4 blocks away at most from the park, but you're still gonna have to haul ass out of the park. Luckily, you didn't get terribly far, so it's probably about a 10-minute walk, 5-minute jog to get to where your truck is.
How many people can fit in your truck?
Are we talking legally or don't give a fuck?
Don't give a fuck.
I mean, if we don't give a fuck, 8. And if we really don't give a fuck, probably 10. But that's if everyone really wants to get to know each other.
Okay, I have my bike. Someone can hop on the back with it. You can fit 4 others, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we need to get the fuck out of here.
I also have a motorcycle.
So does Avery. I was typing that. So.
All of you disaster bisexuals and your fucking motorcycles.
We're just gonna leave. We're just gonna leave Mace. She's gonna.
Macy looks up, and it's really only Thane who's able to hear her clearly. Like everyone, all the other keepers are able to sort of like hear her, but it's kind of like through a really bad telephone connection. So Thane, you're the one who has like the clearest connection. So like the rest of you can hear that she's speaking and understand that she's saying stuff, but Thane, you hear her go, "Oh, it's okay. I'm fine here. I'm safe." She looks up. "You're not."
We gotta go. I am...
Betsy, to the lair!
Oh my God. As you are, so which lair are we going to?
My truck. Well, Robert's going to his truck.
Sounds good.
I'm jumping on the
Oh, right, your lair is your truck.
Yeah, my lair is my truck.
We can go to Avery's place. It should be big enough for everyone, roughly, to sit in the room.
So yeah, because I think you guys are gonna have to do a little bit of thinking. So I just want to like, do you want to just take the truck and like sit somewhere, or do you want to go to Avery's? Do we want to go to someone else's sanctum?
Let's take the truck and sit somewhere. The power's out. We're not walking up that many flights of stairs.
Ooh, fair.
We need to get out of the city. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
Sorry. As someone, not to get gruesome, but as someone who lived in New York during 9/11, good fucking luck getting out of the city anytime in the next 5 days.
Jesus.
What if my truck flies? It doesn't actually fly.
What if I don't give a fuck?
So, we'll say you get into the truck, all squished up, because there's not a lot of you.
Well, there's 3 seats in the front, and then there's the back that's the truck part, so some people are gonna have to be laying down.
That's fine. It's also
I don't think
chaos.
the cops are gonna pull you off over right now.
Yeah.
I don't think the cops are gonna pull us over right now. We can just sit in the back like a normal person.
Can I get perception checks from Flax and Dad?
Sure, that's the same kind of thing, right?
So it's going to be, and let me know what skills you have in those two, just in case anything could be applicable. but you're going to
Predatory?
do a soul pillar roll. Um, and the difficulty is 2. No, 1.
4, 5, 8, and 4.
And what's your soul rating?
It is 4.
Okay, so that is 2 successes. Good. And Flax?
That is an 8, 8, 9, and 7.
Oof.
Oh,
And then
Yeah.
Dad has a skill in auditory because of his ears.
Yep. So then you would be able to push up the threshold, so that would be like a complete success.
Oh, nice.
Um, let's before we move on to that success, if Flax were following along and trying to like understand what's going on and get a grasp of like kind of like listening to like what like almost info gathering while walking to the car. What would be a narrative thing that would make sense that like kind of addles them?
I think Flax is. If Flax is still caught up with Macy and is like, are we like he's caught up with? Did we establish that she's not going to bother me anymore, or like not understanding the whole mysticism of the situation?
Sounds good. And I think what would make sense with that then, there's a known action consequence called lose your next turn just standing there. So I'm going to say that like Flax is just like continuing to try and what's it called? To try and just gather information about like, yeah, the world is ending around you, but like, is she gonna bother me anymore? So I'll say for the rest of this scene, which will be closing soon anyway, Flax is not going to be able to help out with sort of information gathering, and that will end once you're in the truck. Dad, you clearly saw this sort of meteor hit. It was definitely like as a keeper, you've never seen like magic this big, but it's definitely supernatural. Like it's not your normal meteor. You just get that sort of inherent like gut feeling. But what everyone else is saying is that a plane crashed. A plane crashed into Roosevelt Island. And it wasn't a big plane. Like it was the way that it sounds, especially because there's not like a question of it's like one of those like little propeller planes that pilots like learn the first time they do their touch and goes. So it seems like they're like, what if it was a training gone wrong? So that's what everyone else saw. And also, in addition to that, you see so many spirits popping up now. Mostly benevolent, like Macy. And they're walking amongst the living, just kind of chilling. Some of them are going up to ghostly hot dog vendors and getting their hot dogs. Other ones are holding the door open to go into apartment buildings. Some like old timey gentlemen with top hats and canes bow as Victorian women enter in. And you watch as like living people, as they pass through, just kind of like give a little shudder as the ghostly figures pass through them. What does that do with that information?
Let's see. He's going to lean closer to Avery and just kind of hold his hand for a second. And just kind of like gesture to the different ghosts that he sees. And just kind of draw attention to that. Like, there's more spirits. They are literally everywhere.
How does Avery respond?
We're gonna need to go out to Roosevelt Island and find out what happened, aren't we?
I think so.
You think
Hey,
O'Malley's
Robert.
okay?
Oh.
Ah!
Oh, yeah, he'll be fine.
Alright. What? What do you want?
There's a lot more spirits around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're there. New York is haunted. What else is new?
Kind of odd that they're easier to see despite the fog being thicker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were really
Yeah.
alive all along.
I don't think
Maybe we're the
I don't
victims.
think so. No, we're not dead.
We're not dead
Nope.
yet.
We're definitely
Don't
not
sigh
dead.
in
I eat way
disappointment.
too much to be dead.
Well, I mean, that guy, that ghost is going to the hot dog stand.
They're going through the
Valid.
motions.
We gotta go. Nope, I'm pushing them forward.
Oh, I figured we were like driving.
Are we driving at this point, or are we still running to the truck?
I imagine
I
you are
guess
still going to the truck,
Okay,
but
we're going to
now
the truck.
we are
I mean,
in the truck and first scene, so Flax, you are back to being able to help. And Robbie, you start to pull off, and which direction? So let's go back to the whoops, wrong thing. Here we go. So you were parked probably around here in this area. So if we were to zoom out, Roosevelt Island is here. The major
I
tunnels.
can't really see your cursor.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So Roosevelt Island is right here.
Okay.
This is one of the bridges to get to Long Island, but it's not a main bridge. This is just how you kind of get from one part of the, like, one borough to the next. So it's not a major way. Whereas these two, this is how you kind of get out to mainland America. This is another popular, one second, tunnel to get to Long Island proper. And then at the very bottom, you've got these two. So
Okay.
you imagine that most people are going to be taking these ways out, or perhaps going north. But that's not to say that this won't be busy. In addition, you kind of quickly realize that, like, you turn, like, maybe, like, over here. Ew, Trump Tower. Let's... you get, like, over
Are
here.
you sure the meteor didn't fall there?
If only. You get, like, 2 blocks, and it's already bumper-to-bumper traffic. Stand still.
All right, kids, we're in gridlock. Keep your
You're-
seatbelts buckled. I have granola bars in my glove compartment. If anyone gets a little snacky.
Let's see.
Thank you, Father.
I just want to see the direction time for walking, because you're probably going to have to walk, if we're going to be honest, to here. So it'd be a 25-minute walk to get to the bridge to Roosevelt Island. If you drive, you're just going to kind of be stuck. But, you know, bear in mind, it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on. There's, but it's not like Godzilla's attacking type of urgency. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can sit here in your sanctum in this sort of, like, area where you have a little bit of extra resources to determine what you want to do and a plan of attack before actually going. So I, as a DM, am saying, hey, you got a little bit of time. Not all the time in the world. A little.
Okay, I say that we take the amount of time that it takes for me to find another parking spot to sit in this car and think about what we're going to do.
You are able to inch forward, doing just kind of like making it obvious that you're, you know, pulling over. And you essentially, you pull out, you go like 20 feet, and then you pull back in.
Yeah. Alright, so, ladies, gentlemen, what the fuck are we doing?
Thane, still sitting in the bed of the truck, isn't hearing any of this.
But the window's open. The back window is open.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello! Betsy will pop her face out and kind of
Bork, bork.
pant a little bit.
All right. So we don't have enough bikes to get us all over there.
Actually,
We're gonna have. We have.
Two
Also,
people
lane
can sit on a
splitting
boat.
is illegal in the state of New
We
York.
have 3 bikes. I don't think the cops would care right now.
No.
Then wait, we have 3 bikes and 6 people.
Exactly. We can lane split. I do it all the time. Don't worry.
I have a bag on the back of my bike that Betsy can sit in while we're going.
Oh,
She'll be safe.
Is she like, are familiars in this game like familiars in D&D where I can dismiss her as an action and then bring her back?
I don't think so.
Or
I'm gonna check
Let's see.
familiars. 75.
because it doesn't say anything about dismissing.
Every
Or they
keeper-
just are there.
Yeah.
think
Here's
they're, like,
here's
Actual
here's
creatures.
the only way you can dismiss a familiar, and this is up to you if you want to go dark.
Oh, it's just killing
Oh.
her?
And then you could summon her again.
Yeah, no thank you. I'm not gonna kill my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just get on the bike. She can go in the bag. It's fine. She's a small dog. She'll fit.
she can
Mhm.
have those little goggles so her eyes are covered.
Oh.
We'll have to get her a set of that for next time.
You take care of my Betsy, you hear, kid?
Of course.
You understand?
Yeah. She'll be fine.
Do the Schneznayan shake on it.
Oh, what?
Schneznayan shake, and he's gonna go into like this very intricate handshake ritual.
No.
Oh my god.
Thane just pushes him on the bike and says, "Go."
Nope,
So
what?
pushy.
Nope, nope. His boyfriend is going on the bike. Betsy's going on the bike with him. I'm going on your bike, kid.
Oh, son of a bitch. I'm gonna hand you. Thane is gonna hand you his helmet because he doesn't have an extra helmet. And
No, 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 no. And he puts the helmet backwards on Thane. I've got less brains to lose than you.
Oh my god.
well, now we're both gonna die, and he's gonna just. Let's go.
Incredible.
Yep.
And he will get on the bike.
Those driving the motorcycles. Let's get a that motorcycle check, whatever skill you put it in.
Creativity.
Okay, cool.
Great.
We're gonna go one by one. So give me that roll, Thane.
Okay. So I have creativity of 3, if that matters at all.
It
I don't
does
think
not
so.
matter in this case. Like, it matters because it affects your pillar rating, which affects how many dice you roll. What
Then
is
I
your...
have drive 1 and motorcycle 1.
Okay, so you're gonna
as well.
add 2 to your target number. So what's your pillar rating?
6.
Okay, so now your target number is going to be 8. You're going to roll 6 dice. And here's the thing. It's going to be a difficulty 2 in order to get there without issue. A difficulty 3. Sorry. You're going to have a resistance if you only get 2 successes. You need 3 successes to get there without a problem. At least to the bridge area. And your target number is 8.
If I have stunt driver, does that change anything?
That will.
Because I am lane splitting. I'm going on sidewalks. I do not care.
Sounds good. You could add that as well. Just know that
I don't know
like
what that does.
so here's the thing. It can't exceed 8, so you're already at the max. But with the
Yeah.
narration, you can add some stunt driver cool stuff, to what you do.
Okay.
So
I need to find stunt driver really quick. What does it do?
Stunt driver makes it so that the DM can't use your fate rating against you.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
mhm.
6 dice.
I have that.
Oh, I lost one. Oh, okay. I got all successes.
Beautiful.
Nice.
6
6 successes. and 3 1s as well.
Awesome. So you watch Thane and Robbie just take off like a fucking bat out of hell. He kind of like rides up the sidewalk. And I'm sure Robbie on the way just like finds a cop car that's parked and just kind of like reaches out and grabs a side mirror and just makes it like bends it backwards, as you're driving off. And Thane is able to lane split and drive on sidewalks and go through parks and through back alleyways, going up, kind of dumpster ramps until you are near enough to the Queensboro Bridge. We're going to pause there for you all. Next cycling group.
Who's next? I'll go next.
You guys.
So my
Bless you.
I've got a 5, so that's 5 dice. Increase target 6, and I rolled a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Beautiful.
4 successes and 1 failure. 1's a 0.
No, a 0
or
is good.
10.
No, a 0
or
is
10,
a 0.
technically. Oh, is it a 0?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I rolled all 5 successes.
So, kind of following in Thane's wake, but taking I imagine Avery takes
I'm
a
not
slightly...
going on the sidewalks.
Yeah, like a slightly
I have
more
precious
lawful...
cargo.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, the dogs are too.
So you arrive like a minute or so after, but you are able to break through the gridlock and get close to the Queensboro Bridge. Last cycling duo.
Okay,
Which
so
one of us is driving?
Oh, do we both have motorcycles?
No, I have stunt driving, but I have cars.
Ooh. I have a motorcycle, I'll do it. I rolled a 0, because my thing is a 6, because I put it in endurance.
Nice.
So I got a 0, a 1, a 3, a 4, and 2 6s.
Yeah, complete successes. Awesome. So, with very little difficulty, you all haul ass. Now, tell me what it looks like when Ty drives.
Okay, so she's used to like filming while driving. Okay, so she
Oh my
doesn't know what to do with her other hands. So it's a little shaky. So we don't know what we're doing with 2 hands.
Oh my
But
god.
it's stable. We're stable.
This
Jesus.
is hilarious. I loved it so much.
And you make your way to the Queensboro Bridge, and it is so gridlocked that even your bikes can't fit through, and you eventually have to like park/abandon them. And you walk by foot to get close, but there is a crowd so dense that you like can't like not immediately, not without like pushing people out of the way, but you just can't like break through casually. And it's about like 50 to like 75 feet out from the bridge entrance. Because there's like a walker's path, and then there's the the car lanes, and it is completely shut down. All of you are locals. You would all know that there are ways to like get down to the island ish from the bridge. There's like elevators. You would know that there are what was I gonna say? There's ferries to the island. There's air trolleys as well. And you hear the kind of like shouts of police officers corralling them, saying that the bridge is shut down. Please use the Lincoln Tunnel if you would like to leave Manhattan.
So Betsy has she has the wisdom familiar feature, which gives her rank 3 of a skill. I took sense acuity. Is there any way I could periscope her up, like just by holding her kind of Simba style, so that she can see more of what's going on?
Oh my god, I love that so much. Anyway, yeah. Give me a perception roll with your familiar.
Would I use my pillar rating? I believe I would.
Yeah.
Okay. So I roll 4 dice, and she has
Or here's
R3.
another thing that I want to suggest, because you do have your familiar link. 1 second. You may now affect your familiar with powers if they were sitting next to you. Familiar presses. Because can't you? Oh no, you can't see through them. Never mind. Oh no, you experience your familiar senses. So, and you took rank 2, so you could try and have Betsy, just walk as a dog up to the front as well, so you can get an even closer look.
She must remain in my sight or in my sanctum, and I don't know if I would be able to continue to see her.
You would be able to see her once she broke through the crowd if you stood on a car.
Okay.
Because the DC would be a lot lower.
If she just walked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause there's almost a riot about to happen here.
All right. So I'm gonna pat my buddy Thane on the shoulder, and I'm gonna say, "Look out for me!" And I'm gonna stand up on a car as Betsy just walks up, and I will look through her eyes.
Sounds good. As you climb up onto this Honda Civic, the driver looks up. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm fucking looking. What the fuck does it look like I'm doing? Where the fuck are you going? Nowhere. Sit down.
I am sitting down.
Yeah, we'll keep sitting.
I will.
If the
fuck
door
you.
Opens,
Fuck you.
It's like that one.
Does the door open at all? Is the door open?
It's locked. It is locked.
No, I meant, does he try to open the door?
No, he cracks the window down.
I was really hoping he would try and open the door, and Thane would just be like, no, and just keep the door closed.
No, not this time. So I need a perception check, difficulty 1.
Okay. Alrighty. So I believe. So she has R3, which means doesn't she add 3 to her number?
Can you 1 second? What do you mean by R3? Is that on the familiar page?
I'm sorry. Wisdom is Betsy possesses rank 3 of a skill.
Got it.
And
so that would add 3 to the target number, yes. But it can't exceed 8.
And the target number is my pillar number.
Correct.
Plus everything else. Okay. So
it's just the right, yeah, plus everything else, but the amount of dice you roll is just your pillar number.
Mhm. So if I'm doing my math correctly, that is all successes.
Beautiful. So you are able to look through and listen through Betsy's and it's funny because you see in like the dog vision, so you know the colors are a little different than what you're used to, but everything's a little bit, you hear a lot better than you typically would, and you kind of smell the scent of bacon as the officer is trying to direct people away from the bridge. And you're able to perceive that this particular officer that is in control of the situation as best it can be controlled is this gingery, tall man with broad shoulders. You see his badge, and the name is Officer Silver Pistol.
Silver Pistol?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he... 1 second, I'm getting feedback for some reason. I get it every now and again, but anyway. And he is, once again directing people to turn away. He seems to be like a very calming presence despite, what was I going to say? Despite the absolute fucking chaos. And you do notice with the perception and kind of listening in, people are asking about the airplane. And he is not acknowledging the airplane whatsoever. He's just like, he immediately is just having people turn back around. and saying, "Oh, no, 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 don't worry about that. Just get home safe. Over here. If you, I suggest that you walk. If you are able to walk. If you are unable to walk, please those who can assist those who cannot. Perhaps getting a taxi on the other side at once you arrive at Long Island will be the optimal choice. He's just kind of offering these options, and you get the sense based on how calm he's being, and how he's looking also in the directions of where people are not. Like, you see him turn in the direction of, like, the bridge, and he makes the gesture as if for people to, like, walk away from the railing, but there's no living people on the railing.
Okay.
So you notice that about him. In addition, someone slipped past his line of sight, but not your line of sight. And you notice this person dressed in dark clothes and a hoodie kind of pulled up, with like climber's gear, kind of like hooking on to the side of the railing, and is just kind of slowly dropping down to the shore below.
Someone's going in the drink. Also, the officer in charge is a keeper.
Well, then he'll understand us. Let's go.
I'm not entirely sure.
Well,
I'll call Betsy back to me.
sounds good.
Worth a shot.
Nice job, Betsy.
I will also give her a milk bone.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Let's give some other people a shot. Flax, with that information, and/or Dad, what would the two of you be doing now, knowing that there are people climbing down, or at least one person climbing down, knowing that the officer appears to be a keeper?
Oh, that's gonna see where they're going.
Yeah.
All right. So do Dad and Flax want to try and find a way to push their way up in the direction? So let's just go back to the Google Maps simulator. So essentially,
Whoa.
yep. So at 1 second. So you're like over here, and the crowd goes. 1 second. This is hard for me to. There we go. You're around here, and the crowd goes back here. The person is like rappelling down to here, presumably to like get a vantage point. It's kind of hard. Like, I imagine, like, pretend that like the bridge actually starts here, just the way that I wanted to envision it. And they're dropping down to get to here, presumably so they could walk and steal one of the ferries or a small boat that is over here.
Yeah, that's just gonna try and see where they're going. And he's not gonna follow because he doesn't want to get separated from the group too much. He's not gonna take off after them or anything like that. But
sounds good. So this will be.
Yeah.
I think that we can feasibly do like a breaking and entering. You're not breaking and entering anywhere specifically, but you're using the similar skill set that you would to be able to slip past authorities, to move around barriers, and Flax. Would you be following to do the same thing, or are you going to try and do something slightly different?
They'll follow to do the same thing.
Okay. So, please give me a 1 second. I'll get there.
It's voice for me.
Sounds good. Flex, do you have any skills that you can arguably use in your favor for this?
I don't think so. They've got sense acuity, but it's the tactile one, so I don't think that would help that much.
I think so. Because you're short and it's a big crowd. So maybe you just kind of like you close your eyes and you just kind of like feel around for like the little places, like the little breaks, and kind of weave your way through there. Um,
Mhm.
so you're able to just kind of let, because like when you're in a crowd that dense, all you can see is like the back of the person in front of you. So you're just kind of closing your eyes and focusing, moving forward, and weaving your way blindly through,
Mhm.
feeling for the gaps between people. So whatever skill that's under. Um,
Perception.
okay.
So under soul.
So you're gonna roll. What's your soul pillar rating?
4.
Okay. And what's your rank in tactile?
1.
Okay. So your threshold, not your threshold, your target number is 5 or lower. You're going to roll
Mhm.
4 dice. The difficulty is 2. Same thing for you, Dad. And just so
Okay.
you know, I'm setting the difficulties fairly lowish for what I think, like what a normal person would be able to do. But because you're all keepers, I feel like you're all sort of inherently better at things.
Mhm.
So like this difficulty for you because you've practiced it a lot is kind of lower. Whereas like I would put at a difficulty like 3 or 4 if it was some rando on the street.
Okay. Um, Dad's voice pillar number is 5, so I rolled 5. I have 3 2s, a 6, and a 1.
Perfect. And Flax,
It was a 4, 5, 4, and 0.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Dad, you're able to emerge from the crowd, unseen by the officer. Like, the officer clearly is, in control and, making many things move, but he's more concerned about the people trying to get onto the bridge and cause violence than someone looking to go over and, like, peer over the edge of something. So I'm gonna need a perception check from you, Dad. Flax, with your rolls, I think all of them were a success. I feel like
Mhm.
Flax has some sticky fingers. So what's a useful thing he would have picked, either up from the ground or from a person? That's a sort of mundane item that you're like, this is useful. Like you moved around and you felt something and you knew what it was exactly. What did you grab?
Um. Is there anything that anyone has that would be helpful for getting like getting down the bridge to follow the people? Or for getting us to the island? I can't think of.
Hmm, that's tough.
Mm, yeah.
Can we crowdsource that one party? What's something
Hmm.
that like the average person would have on their person that would help with what you need to do to get to the island or to get down? Bear in mind, it's about like a no, probably like 30-foot drop, um, from the ledge to the ground below. Yeah, okay, strongest coffee. Who wrote grappling hook?
I have no idea. I was gonna try and make an argument for whoever has keys if they have a lanyard.
That's what I
I
was
don't
like, a
know.
carabiner or something, but
It
Because my
depends on the construction of the bridge. Is this like a solid pillar we're climbing down, or is this like iron scaffolding? What are we working with here?
Yeah, so what you're working with is so they're not going off of the bridge. They sorry, the chat is kind of funny right now.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's really good. I've been paying
I have
attention.
no idea I'm
yeah.
so curious.
um,
someone said shoelaces.
I mean,
I mean, Flax
depends.
is small, but I don't know if he's that
See,
Yeah.
my,
small.
my thought was like stealing a belt of some kind.
A belt would actually be really good.
If you have a
Because
belt, a sturdy purse, good shoelaces, a lanyard that's strong enough, and there's like a pole or something you can slowly lower yourself down.
The
But
idea
like
of
as I said, it depends on the kind of bridge we're working with here.
Yeah, I would say you're not working on the bridge. It's the railing. So like there's the what's it called? Like a railing that goes over here for like a sidewalk area, and the bridge kind of is perpendicular to it, and the bridge is completely like off off limits. So you're working with this railing here, which has it's roughly like the diameter of your wrist. So you can either use a belt or like a super lesbian's keychain hook.
I don't know. The idea of
Carabiner.
Do you know? Yeah.
the idea of Flax like sneaking through the crowd and then stealing someone's belt off of their pants is really funny to me.
Sounds good. So yeah, you reach around and you kind of like unhook the belt, and you're able to make kind of make off with that belt in preparation. And because there are definitely what was I gonna say, some preppers in chat, and because chat is on your side, you're able to get a bungee cord
Woohoo!
as well. It
I mean,
won't
that's
be.
actually not unreasonable since
It's
we have our
not.
bikes not
Okay,
too far away. A
yeah.
bungee cord's totally
Yeah.
something you would have on your vehicle.
Also, there's those like paracord bracelets that people have
Yup.
If any
that
of us are
amount to
preppers.
like 50 feet of paracord or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have one of those.
All right. So
Like
would you
our
rather
exact.
would you rather a bungee cord or a paracord that Flax sticky fingers?
Let's do the paracord one.
Sounds good. So you're able to kind of steal those two things off of two different people as you're, blindly making your way through, and feeling around the crowd. And you emerge only a couple seconds after Dad does. Dad, what was that perception check?
Okay, so just to recap again, uh, the soul rating is 4, so I rolled 4 dice, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I rolled 2 zeros, a 6 and a 2.
Yeah. You are able to see this person kind of creeping along the side, kind of like hugging the wall, because the water was definitely disturbed by the impact of whatever this is, and the waves are kind of like lashing out onto the boardwalk, not the boardwalk, just sort of like the sidewalk, and they are making their way towards a ferry. And by like when I say ferry, it's not like the Staten Island ferry. It's not a big one. It's just like a small boat that it's like one of those like security boats, that kind of go, kind of zip around the bay.
Do we go do that?
It's probably like it's big enough to comfortably fit like 4 people. You can squish more on, but like the the allowed capacity is 4 people. So you could
We
bully
need
your way
2
on
of
if you
them.
want to try, but like that's what he seems to be making his way towards.
Well, I do want to go talk to the keeper police. Oh, I should not talk to the keeper police officer. Never mind. Never mind.
So
I think we send Avery for that.
I will allow a little bit of metagaming table talk, because here's the thing: your characters would not be able to text each other because cell service is down. But I want to be lenient because it's a new system, and I don't want to handcuff you all. So if you wanted to kind of discuss as a party above table your options here before actually going through with any of them, that's fine.
Well, now that he's seeing how the person is getting down and where they're going, and he looks back at the crowd of people, stealing about seems like the quickest option.
Yeah.
And so Dad's gonna lean toward that.
Even if the keeper does agree that we're keepers and know that we should be going over there, his primary job right now is a police officer, and if he lets some people cross the bridge, everyone's gonna cross the bridge and it is going to cause a riot. But walking over to him for 5 minutes and maybe being able to quietly discuss what's going on. We might be able to get some information and then go the other way and steal one of those ferries and cross.
Um, I just have a quick question.
Mhm.
So when a power says that it costs this, does that reduce, if I'm remembering correctly, does that reduce the amount of dice that I continue to roll for the like
I
my pillar is
believe
then
so. But
like
let
What was
if
me.
the
it
question?
so I have a pillar 6, right?
Uh-huh.
Of voice. This power that I'm looking at costs 5 voice. Would I then only have pillar 1 and only roll 1 dice for the
Your
remainder?
pillar rating is only decreased when you take scars,
You are
and
right.
it is only decreased at the beginning of the next scene. So if you were to take a scar this scene, next scene you would have 1 less die.
Okay. But I could use this power and not take a scar, as I would not be emptying out my
Yes.
pillar.
Right. But do bear in mind that if you were to receive damage that hurt that particular pillar, you would get and took damage.
You
You
would
would.
basically immediately just scar.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, even if I
I
have
mean,
like
you're
a
gonna scar
threshold.
anyway, but like you have nothing in there and a scar and it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, no. When you get a scar, your thing fills up again, but minus the scarred point. So
Yeah.
let's say you had 6, and then you use the 5, and now you're down to 1, and then you get hit with something. Then it now, instead of having 6, you have a scar. You have 5, and now you have 5 to spend again. Every time you get a scar, your pillar refills, but it's 1 less because of the scar.
Even when
Okay.
you take damage, that's cool.
It's when you take damage or when you use a power.
Okay.
It could be
Cool.
either of those things.
I bring this up because I looked at the neuromancy powers,
Mm-hmm.
because you were saying we can't text, and one of the neuromancy powers is chat room, where I can create a group mind speak and set it up how I wish.
I
That is
love that. That
amazing.
is exactly what you need right now. Like, I am being nice this time in this instance, but you're going to need it. So,
And it says it remains in effect for the duration, I believe, of the scene, and as long as people stay within the amount of successes in miles from me.
Oh,
beautiful. I am going to say above table, save it for
Okay.
now. But there's going to be definitely times in the near future you're going to need that.
Okay, I will keep that in mind, but I am also just going to put that out there for everyone else to remember that Robert can just basically create a neuromancy chat room for everyone to talk, because it doesn't say, it says target one group, and I presume that that just means all of us.
The party, yeah.
If targets one group, we classify as a group, so.
okay.
So if you were to
So-
talk to the police officer, that would take some time. But also, it would take some time for this person to, jumpstart this boat. So you have a fair amount of time, but if you end up taking, if it has, if you end up encountering more obstacles, then you're going to have to get creative on how to stop this person from, leaving the ferry without you.
I mean, do we just want to go then? Like, what are group consensus here? What are the odds we'll actually get useful information from this keeper?
I mean, he
Probably not.
Probably not much, honestly.
not to
Probably
not
doesn't.
to
Maybe.
not to railroad you because you don't have to go to him at all, but he is an officer that has the radio and has access to a lot more information about what's being coordinated. So,
It is all keepers' job to assist in keeping the unknown world separate from the known world. So we are on the same side here. Uh,
and who knows, he
Then let's
might be
go
here
talk to
later. You could do your thing at Roosevelt Island and then come back. Like, this guy is going to have a long night guarding the bridge. So you don't have to come to him now either.
let's just go straight across the bridge and see it. He's probably not going to have too much more information than we do ourselves. And we don't want to lose the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Sounds good. So who is going to talk to him?
Can I be in the crowd?
I thought we weren't talking to him.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna.
I
Yeah,
thought
I
we
said
were.
that
Oh,
no
got
one
it.
really gave the consensus
Sorry,
on whether
my
or not you
mistake.
want Avery to talk to him. Group
Yeah,
vote
no,
here.
I,
Let's
I
go.
figure I figure we're just gonna go to the boat to get across to the island.
Okay.
Sounds good. So I'm going to
So,
need. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just saying that I'm switching buildings in a moment, so I might have to go AFK for a little while.
Totally
That's
fine.
all.
So I guess we'll have Avery describe how he gets there first, just to. So you're gonna have to make your way through the crowd, also like relatively unseen. So I'm not gonna make you do a stealth roll, but I'm definitely going to need you to do it in a way that doesn't draw attention to you. So
So
how would you? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so I can't utilize my parkour for this particular ability, because that's kind of
Oh, that's so good.
flashy. Because I have a level 2 in parkour
I would allow parkour.
specifically.
I would allow parkour if you kind of double back a little bit and you kind of run the buildings to get to the side. Because, like, the way that I imagine it, one second. Oh, I have the OBS on my main monitor. So, like, you are over here. So, what you could theoretically do is parkour down here and go further down. It's just a longer walk to get to where he is. So you could parkour.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'll like run over to catch up to everyone else.
All right. So what I'm going to need is two parkour checks. One difficulty of 2, one difficulty of 3. The difficulty 2 is to climb up onto one of the buildings to kind of jump over the railing. The second one, which is more difficult, is the one where you want to land without breaking your ankles.
Yeah, that would be ideal. All right, so I'm just gonna roll for. I'm sorry, what's the difficulty?
I think I said 2 and 3.
2 and
Was I?
3. Cool, cool.
No, you're
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Let's see here. Where is my sheet? 'Cause I forgot to bring my sheet with me, so it's on my computer. 5 plus 2. So that's 3 successes.
All right, so the first one, you are able to effortlessly make your way up, and then you start to, do your descent, and you kind of do the thing where you like grab onto the railing, then you drop down, so you break your fall halfway, then you break, you're gonna do
Yeah.
like a graceful landing. So this is the one where it's a difficulty 3.
And that is 4 successes.
Beautiful. So you hit with a heavy thump, but like you know how to distribute your weight so that you don't get those fractures on your feet, and then you start taking off. And Dad, you're able to see. What is it? She's a track star. um,
She's a runner. She's a track
thank
star.
you. Yep.
Hey, go on away when it gets hot.
Yep. Hauling
Thank you.
ass in the direction of this person that is about to jumpstart the boat.
That's my boy.
Yep. Who is next? We'll save Flax and Dad for last because you've got the power cord, so it's going to be the easiest and least climactic one, I feel. So we got Thane, Robbie, and Tide.
I have absolutely nothing.
You got stuff,
Oh,
or you
no.
can you could also rely on the power of friendship, and hopefully your friends can help you.
And hopefully some strong paracord.
So, Thane, start talking through your the skills that you have. Maybe we can help crowdsource
I
because you
have
just have to break
brawl.
through the crowd. Oh my God! Please,
What'd you say?
this fucking place is a powder keg.
What'd you say?
I'm not gonna do that.
He's got
But
brawl.
Oh, they know.
One could argue that the brawl skill does give you the ability to dodge around opponents and thus move through the crowd quickly.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Said as somebody who spent a lot of time slipping into gaps in crowds in high school.
I would allow that if you would like to roll a brawl check to duck and weave around the crowd to
okay.
get to where Dad and Flax are. Difficulty 2.
So, uh, I have a 6. Yeah, all of my stats are 6s, by the way. I made that. And then I have a brawl 2, so my target number is 2 higher?
Jesus Christ. Yep.
Yeah,
Which means that
okay.
it's nearly impossible for you to not succeed.
Yeah.
I have 1, 1, 0, 8. I do have 1, 9,
It's
and a
okay.
5.
You passed the check overall, so you are fine. Who's next?
Oh, I have a. Oh, I had an idea now. Tied.
Mm.
Now
I don't
Be
know.
here's
your
the
I kept
famous
looking.
self.
I'm still looking
Oh, I
at it.
got you. Be
here's
your
something that
famous
I've
self.
been sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to talk about this particular aspect. Because we have been, I have a feeling that I'm setting the difficulty a little too low. Under certain things, I don't want to nerf you all. I'm still getting a feel for the thing, but also,
The
granted, we're
level.
yeah, but also not only that. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff we're doing is like day to day stuff. So I also don't feel terrible right now because it's not like you are doing these death defying stunts. Um, but I want to note narration. Narration is the result of a role. Narrating the result of a roll is important in Pillars. If a player makes a successful roll, they can narrate the result, telling the group what happens in their own words. But then narrating can be used to set up the group for future success by modifying the situation or helping another character to be more successful. For example, if Bob gains 3 extra successes on his attempt to flee from a zombie, his character can narrate he found a bit of cover as well, and that would lower the difficulty for the next person. So if you would like to narrate, as you're ducking and weaving with all those successes, maybe something that you did that would make it easier for the next person.
Bane will be bobbing and weaving through all these people, making sure that every once in a while he'll give a person a little bit more of a shove so the path stays open and keeps open for the rest of the group to follow.
Sounds good. Um, who's next? Tide and Robbie.
Ladies
I
first.
have no. Okay. Um, I don't know what to roll.
So what's? Oh, I helped make your skills, but I can't
Yeah.
check. I can't check right now. I just channeled the. I just need to give this character the disaster by energy. Um, hence the ridiculously attractive. Um,
That
Of
fits.
course,
Mhm.
of course, of course.
Called
I
it.
also have the innocent appearance.
Hey, me too.
mhm.
Like my skills are like I have a broad melee skill, a broad tactics skill, and then
I would
whip.
give tactics if you wanted
Tactics
to.
would be good.
Yeah, so you
Tactics,
can either
okay.
do tactics in whatever pillar you roll, you put it in, or you can do grace, whichever one of those.
Oh, I have tactics on Grace.
Oh, that's perfect. So I'll say that Thane increases your target number. 1 second. Okay, cool. I'm glad to. I'm getting what's it called? Validation from the devs that my difficulties are perfect. Cool.
Oh,
Um,
that's okay.
what was I gonna say? Um, I'll get there. Your target number is increased by 1 because Thane kind of poked an opening extra for you.
Okay, so 6, 7.
And difficulty 2.
Okay, I don't completely understand the difficulty thing.
So when I say difficulty 2, that just means you need 2 passes. And to pass, you have to roll your target number or lower.
Okay.
And your target number is your pillar rating plus your skill rank.
Okay.
It was noted in chat that it's trait plus skill instead of pillar rating plus skill.
Oh.
Trait.
That's why things feel super easy.
There we go. So the target number is not that 6, it's the 2 or the 3. And you roll the amount of pillar dice.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, but
Live and
I
learn.
roll. So my grace is 2.
Yup.
And then I'm a tactic thing. Okay, so I rolled a 1, a 5, 2 8s, a 7, a 4, and another 5.
Okay. It was so
Math is
3.
hard.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So if you're, I was gonna say your trait is 2, and the skill was 1, then the target number was 3. But
And then
Thane,
plus 1 from Thane.
Exactly. So
4.
Thane granted you that extra 1, so you do end up having 2 successes. So
Okay.
describe to me how she makes her way through the crowd.
Trying to follow close enough because I don't want people, like, even if they get shoved, like, I don't want them stepping back. So just trying to keep up as best as possible.
Nice.
Obviously, while not trying to mess up my hair.
Sounds good.
Can't have that.
Yep, you follow closely in Thane's footsteps, and then as you emerge, you just do that quick little like hair thing. Run your fingers through your hair to make it look windswept. You pull out your phone and look at the front-facing mirror, and you naturally, like being a social media icon, you never hold your phone up here. You go right for the selfie angle, and you're like, yeah, perfect. Robbie.
So Robert is just going to straight up lie as he makes his way across. Excuse me, sorry, FBI. Excuse me, sorry, FBI.
I love that.
Because I have 2 broad ranks in deception and 1 specific rank in lying, which would be a +3 if I'm correct.
Yup. And then, which pillar are you putting that, or which trait?
Can I put that in social?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it'll be how many ranks do you have in social?
I have 2 ranks in social.
So it was 2, 2, and 1. Like so.
Yes.
Sounds
Sorry,
good.
I had to math.
Yep. So then that'll be a target number of 5, and you roll your voice pillar dice.
Okay. I think I just dropped one of my dice all the way down. Okay, that's
Big
fine.
rip.
I have enough. Okay, so that is 4 successes.
Beautiful. Yeah, you what do you want to do with those extra 2 successes? Everyone's already there. But like what would be a nice cuz you now also have you just said like, excuse me, coming FBI, but now all of you are about to fucking, grappling hook your way down this
Can I have him just be like, excuse me, sorry, FBI, please return to your homes. Excuse me, sorry, FBI, return to your homes, please. To get fewer eyes that could possibly see us grappling down this bridge.
Yeah, I will say that they turn to one another and start like bitching about you. Like, look at this fucker trying to make us go home. We are trying to go home, That's why we're here. We can't fucking go home because Ginger Snap up there is fucking stopping us. That sort of.
Well, Snickerdoodle right here is telling you to go home.
Perfect. Dad and Flax. You're fashioning this paracord slash belt uh, lasso thing. How would you like to? What would you like to roll for this? I think creativity might be the best bet, but if you have um, another argument, I am here for it.
Yeah, I think creativity.
For fashioning it itself?
One more time, Ren.
For making it itself?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, agreed.
No, I should have talked to the officer.
Avery's.
Do that again, please.
Well, the funny thing is, because his name in the D&D world is Sven Silversword, so now he's Silver Pistol.
Uh,
Man, my boy.
Also, can I say that Avery would have actually like run off to the side and he's like down there waiting for them?
Yeah.
Like he didn't go all the way, so he's gonna help lower people down those last like 10 feet or so by,
Sounds
you know,
good.
guiding
Silver
them down.
pistol does sound better than just silver gun.
Yeah, I almost did Silver Gun, but Silver Pistol felt fancier.
So do you want us to roll for creativity then?
Uh,
Or...
yes. So here's how we can do it, because you can either have someone try and grant an extra thing moving forward. And Jen, I know you're watching. I'm not sure because like I didn't look for it specifically, but like almost like the equivalent of a help action. But can you do that when you have two people rolling the same thing? So like for example, if Dad is rolling creativity to fashion this sort of rope down, would Flax be able to at the same time use the same or similar skill to make it better? Or because it's one thing, only one person can do something, and then only subsequent things can happen, provided enough successes. So, was there something specific that Flax would want to roll, if not creativity?
I've just got the tactile for the perception is the only thing I can think of, but
What I can think of is maybe Dad can do the creativity to try and make it, and you could use your tactile perception to make sure that if you tug it, it feels like it's sturdy enough
yeah.
and done well enough.
Mm.
So, what's it called? And then just kind of a confirmation from the devs. Just have the helper roll the same skill or trait. If helper gets any successes, they give one to the main actor. So I will say that you can combine. Well, no, you could either do the same skill, or you can let Dad roll on his own, but then kind of double check his work as a subsequent action.
Mm-hmm.
So Dad, give me that creativity roll.
0, 7, 4, and 5.
And then what was the what is your target number, which is your trait, not the pillar, so my bad. Your trait plus your skills.
Okay, so how do I find the number for the skills, I guess?
How many ranks do you have in any, so like in your creativity, what skills do you have?
Just painting, and that's 2.
Okay, so that wouldn't apply here. So your target number would be just the creativity rank, which is 2.
Yep.
Okay, and then give me those numbers again.
0, 7, 4, and 5.
Okay, so that is one success. Can you, Flax, do your perception tactile? So you're going to do your perception rank plus your tactile rank as the target number.
So it's 2 is that. And then I rolled 2. So 2 would be the target number, and then I rolled 2, 7, 1, and 8.
Okay. With that, you're able to sense that what Dad made is sturdy enough to like most likely get you all down. But if someone does is not graceful getting down, it might compromise the integrity of what, of Dad's job. So it's good for now, but you might want to check it again if people kind of dismount ungracefully from this rope.
Hmm. Okay. I guess we just kind of make our way down.
Sounds good. Um, can I get grace checks from everyone?
Grace.
Go ahead.
I just said grace check.
And the difficulty is 1 because it is dry. You have all the, kind of all the helping equipment you need for this. So who's going down first?
I guess I will. The rating is 4.
Sounds good.
3, 3, 2, and 6.
Flawless. So you easily make your way down with the skill of a thief who loves breaking, entering, and painting.
And dancing, don't forget that.
Yes. And that was quite a few successes. So can you think of anything that might help the next person that goes down?
I guess just kind of like demonstrating, like this is how you get down, stuff like that, like very clear, very straightforward, don't fuck it up type of thing.
Sounds good. I will say that that will grant 1 success moving forward. So if someone super beefs it, they at least have a success. Who goes down next?
I can go down next. Doesn't matter.
Alright.
So I believe what am I trying to say? The target is 4, and I rolled a 5, 5, a 2, and a 7.
Okay, that is 1 success. So you are able to make your way down, and I think given Flax's grumpiness, like, Dad is trying to help. You're like, I got this, and don't tell me what to do, and you just grumpily make your way down.
You're doing great.
Who's next? Robert, Thane, and Tide.
I guess Robert will go next.
Sounds good.
So he's
Thane
only
is
got a
definitely
grace of
body blocking right now.
he's only got a
Making
grace
sure
of
no one
1,
blocks.
but I did roll a 0.
Hey, nice.
So I have 1 success, and technically adding on the other success of Dad's assistance, so that is 2 successes.
Sounds good. The success is now spent. Thane and Tide.
Go.
Okay.
Wait,
So-
first of all, I'm going to use enhanced action. One of my fortuity things, I'm going to spend 2 points. You get 1 success on the next one, Tide.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
So we won't make you roll for that. So tell me what that looks like as Thane helps Tide.
It's one of his magic things. So
It
he's just
is.
gonna slightly just go up his arm, and you can see the tattoos start glowing a little bit. He's gonna take out this little ball. It looks like a little ball. He's gonna walk up to Tide and just hit her in the forehead with it, and say, "You'll be fine. Go ahead.
Hey, next time don't hit my face.
You'll be fine."
I love that. And how does Thane get down?
Let's see. I have grace of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I have in grace is shooting, so I don't think that will help me.
No.
Yeah, it looks like it's just gonna be 2.
Let's see.
That's a 3 and a 0.
Hey, you only needed 1. So
Yep.
the whole party, at long last, has made their way down. And you look over and you see the hooded figure. You hear like this sort of like spark of the engine like starting but not quite catching, so he's getting close to finishing this up. What do you do?
I have a plan.
Shout after him.
I could just run up and punch him off the boat,
Oh
and we
my-
can get in the boat and take it.
What if he's on our side?
Or we could talk to him.
Yeah. Just yell,
But
hey.
what if he's not on our side? That's the
Then-
big
then you can punch him
Then
out.
you punch him.
Okay,
we
deal.
we start with the diplomacy, actually.
I never do.
I was gonna say that
No.
sounds cool.
That sounds boring.
Well, this sounds like it might get us the boat nicer.
It's a boat, so unfortunately we can't stand behind it from leaving like a car or something.
Yeah.
You can just run over
He
and
hasn't-
offer to help.
He hasn't started it yet, right?
Not yet, but you can hear like the, almost like, you're trying to turn the motor, the motor of a car over and it like, but it doesn't quite catch yet.
Fantastic. Dad makes an excellent point. Just walk
What?
up. Excuse me, do you need a hand with that?
You do that?
Yes.
Sounds good. The hooded figure turns over and looks at you all, and he goes, "You fucking know how to steal a boat?"
You know,
Do
amazingly
we look
enough.
like we would steal a boat?
Some
And I
of you
turned to
do.
Dad. Just like, amazingly enough. Just
Look
like,
here, I have
look
innocent
out.
appearance. I don't look like I'll steal a boat.
Yeah, Instagram princess over there doesn't look like she can do shit, but you tough
fair.
guy. And
Me?
you, short one, pointing at Flax. You got a mean look on you.
Why
You know-
are you trying to take the boat over?
Instagram princess.
Just out
I
of curiosity.
TikTok more. I take offense to that.
He obviously doesn't know what the popular social media platforms are today.
Clearly,
Old people.
uncultured.
when you ask what he's going over there for, he's like, "I'm gonna fix the fucking grid."
You know how to do that?
No, I'm gonna try though.
Who are
Oh
you?
shit, I'm in.
When you ask, "Who are you?" He goes, "Who the fuck are you?
You don't
The
want to
people
know that.
also trying to get over there
Why do you want to get over there?"
to fix
To
the
figure
grid.
out what happened to the grid.
Do you really expect the city to
I'm
be able
more
to take care of
invested
this?
in the fireball that came out of the sky.
Yeah,
The what?
very curious about that.
The big ball that came out of the sky.
Or the planes. Planes, rather.
Yeah, sure.
It was a plane.
Let me think of what skill this would be. Give me a hot second. I want a social check from, and I just because I don't want to have like the whole party rolling. Anyone that has a rank 2 or more in social, please give me a social check.
I
If you
have
have skills in
social
that,
2.
let me know if what that skill is.
I have an
Some
intellect-based negotiations skill.
I will let you try that one.
Okay.
And I'll explain
How
why.
about-
When,
Empathy or detecting lies.
detect lies would not work in this moment.
Okay. So it'd just be
My target
2
number is
dice.
4.
I have deception.
You still use as many dice as your pillar rating.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your target number isn't that, but you
Mhm.
still use that many dice.
Yeah.
And detecting
So
lies
what
would
would my
not work
target
in this moment either.
yeah. So what would my target number be?
I said I have deception.
Oh, sorry.
Your
Deception
target
would not
number-
work here either.
Is your social skill.
Oh, so
Plus-
it's 2.
Yeah, it's your trait plus whatever skill, but the number of dice you roll is your pillar rating.
Ah.
That
Uh.
is.
Robert got 4 successes.
Beautiful. We need 2 successes here.
4
I got.
successes.
I can't do math. Hang on. I need to reach a 4, so I got 3 successes.
Okay. All of you can tell that he looked slightly interested when Thane mentioned a fireball. And then when Avery and Dad were like, no, it was a plane, it was a plane, he was just like, oh yeah, they're fucking idiots. That sort of like dismissive look.
Oh.
Well, we need to get over there. So.
I'll take you. You could leave these chuckle fucks behind.
These
Excuse me?
chuckle
Did you
fucks are
just
coming
call
whether
me?
you like it or not.
And he looks at the size of the boat and he goes, sign here says that only 4 people can come on, so
Who
S-
resigned?
Is there
I
another
don't
boat like
believe in
this?
listening to the rules, kid.
uh what did Thane say?
Is there another boat like this near us or no?
There is not, no. And then when Robbie says like I don't believe in listening to rules, and he goes, me neither, but I use them when it works in my favor.
Don't we all?
Well, I'm going to look at everybody. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Huh.
1, 2, get fuck, get fuck, get fuck, get fuck, get fuck.
Well, Thane is going to hop in the boat.
He lets you.
Yeah. Just wait.
You know how to
I'm waiting for
hotwire
him
this
to-
thing?
God, no. Well, wait, I do have mechanics.
You do have mechanics.
So, let me see if I can make a mechanics check.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be... So I have it in endurance in mechanics 1, so that would be 3 dice? Or that would be my target number?
No, it's your target number. You still roll the
Yeah.
amount of dice in that pillar.
Yeah.
So the way that I'm thinking about it, like maybe he was, kind of like you kind of have to like really pull these wires together and just muscle them close. And so he's just kind of standing guard at the back while he lets Thane take control of this. And he looks
I only
over
have
at
2
Flax.
successes.
How many?
So, are you more interested or the fireball?
Sorry, 2 successes. You're getting
And
close. Oh, go ahead.
one of the failures is a 9.
Oh, because this is a very difficult task, which is why he was struggling. So,
Do I just rip the cord out?
that is for the party to decide what this extreme failure is going to look like as Thane attempts and extremely fails this.
Or do I just fall in the river?
Well, I get to choose something, but I want
Yeah.
the players to flavor it, and then what based on how they flavor it, I get to pick a consequence. So this guy starts to talk to Flax, and so I'm just gonna set up. So he starts to talk to Flax, and he goes, "All right, mean looking one, what do you do?" And then as that happens, Ren, you were about to talk.
Oh, I was just gonna say like, well, actually, no, never mind. What I was gonna suggest was not gonna work, so never mind.
I believe Avery was trying to ask him something.
Right. But we're still working with Thane's failed roll right now.
Okay, my suggestion for the failed roll would be that the engine backfires, making a loud noise and drawing attention down here.
I like that. So based on that,
My suggestion was going to be that Thane scorches its hand a little.
I like
Just
the
a little.
I like the backfire thing because I want the party to come up with a solution for that. But You're gonna lose your next turn just standing there because I like that one. You're just kind of like standing like kind of in shock, so you are not
Like,
able to
ouch. Yeah.
rectify the thing that you just did, and now your party members have to fix this for you.
Okay.
And so there's that big explosion sound that rips through like a gunshot, and this guy looks back at Thane, and he goes, "What the fuck?" Party, how do you?
I
Because you know that the officers are going to be looking in this direction very quickly.
I'm going to use my neuromancy to cast a simple suggestion to him. Say, with that fucking loud noise, those cops are gonna get down here. You gotta get out of here, man. And so it says make a suggestion to a target who will accept that suggestion as a good idea. Targets will follow the suggestion for a few minutes, or until their actions show that it was not in their best interest, which ends the power's duration.
Nice. I am going to have him very quickly try and just get this motor going, get the fuck on, come on, get the fuck on, all of you, let's go. Essentially he's just trying to have you all make an escape.
Okay.
And he is going to attempt his roll. 1 second. He gets... he fails and also has a 9. So he makes...
I was gonna ask, can one of us assist him?
You can. He needs 1 more success. So,
what skill is it?
it's gonna be a mechanic skill.
Oh, I meant like what
Of course,
trait would that be in?
Oh, I'm
'Cause
sorry,
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
have
So
a
if you don't
mechanic
have like
skill.
a mechanic...
I have a high intellect.
Yes, you do.
Or
maybe 1
Dad
second.
could help maybe. Just one of us.
Oh,
Don't know if.
1
Oh no, I was one. Burglary might help with this a little bit.
You could do intellect or grace or creativity.
Okay. I'll do since I'm the one who volunteered, I'll do an intellect check for that then. That's just a 3. Come on. I rolled 3 ones.
Oh my god. Tell me how Avery saves the day.
I rolled 3 ones and a 3, and he's gonna look at it as the guy's like messing with it. He's like, hey, actually, I think I read a book about this kind of engine when I was a kid, and I got really... No, you have to attach this to here. Yeah, like that. Okay, now push down on that lever, and that should send the power through there, and it should start like that. Yeah, there we go. Just like
That...
walking him through because he read a book once.
I was gonna say, tell me you like autistic childhood without telling me an autistic childhood story.
Avery's the kid who started reading Wikipedia stuff to figure out how to do something and ended up accidentally finding out how to make a bomb. So
Abso-fucking-lutely. So Avery is able to just kind of salvage this thing that both Thane and this guy fucked up hard. And as the party starts, he actually does anyone else want to drive this, or are you okay with him taking the reins on this one? Because I will say with Robbie's suggestion, he is kind of going to like follow the party if it seems like the party's more competent, and he is going to assist you because he wants to get the fuck out of here.
anyone know how to drive a boat?
I have driving broad and also stunt driver, so I can drive.
I can drive.
I got this, kid. Don't worry. Sit down.
I love it.
Avery sits down.
Yep, difficulty 2.
They just stay standing.
But go give it a drive. This guy takes out what looks to be like a potato gun out of his backpack and fires a flare in the direction of the trees, like about 100 feet away, and just kind of sparks a fire over in that direction.
Jesus.
Well, that felt unnecessary.
And he
Oh,
looks.
boy.
Distraction.
I don't want them to see
Fair
us.
enough.
It provides smoke cover and it provides also distraction. They're going to be more focused on the fire than they are a boat that's zooming down the river.
Yeah, let's fucking hope it doesn't burn down the entire block. Let's go!
It's just it's just a single tree though, so don't worry. It's
Okay,
like
it's just
those ones that are
real
like
fine.
50 feet apart. So at worst, he
Oh.
pissed off a squirrel.
Poor squirrel.
No.
Rip squirrel.
Robbie, what was that?
So what trait should I be using for this? Because I
Whichever
have.
one you put that skill in.
Okay. I'll put it in. I think I put in intellect, so that's. Okay, we've got 3 successes.
Beautiful. So Robbie in total, like action movie style, just kind of floors the pedal, and there's like the what's it called, the water spewing out behind, and you kind of fishtail a little bit before taking off.
He's
what's
quietly
it-
humming the old James Bond theme song.
Mhm.
I'm here for that. And the tree lights a flame as you all haul ass out of there. And the engine is roaring and the wind is whipping in your ears, so it's kind of hard to talk throughout that. And what was I gonna say? You arrive at the docks of Roosevelt Island only a couple minutes later. Like, it's not a far trek at all, but definitely not something you want to swim across. And this guy, as soon as you park, jumps out, and he kind of does the job of like doing the loopy loop. But
He's
what
docking the boat.
exactly. But here's the thing: you see just mist, like Silent Hill style, as you get closer, kind of like rippling out, obscuring your vision. This is not normal for Roosevelt Island. And you have a sense that this is something that like only keepers see.
Who the fuck is vaping so much here?
And
Teenagers.
as he's docking the boat, he's looking up at Thane, and he goes, you got any weapons on you?
I'm going to slowly open my jacket, and there's just a Glock in it, and I'm just gonna put it back, and he's gonna keep walking.
And what about the others?
I got a knife.
I have a dagger.
Avery pulls one of those like small little staves out of his pocket, and it's like one of those extendable bow staves. Just funk.
And he
I
looks.
oddly have a sword.
God, holy shit! Are you a weeb?
What?
It's just there,
Jesus fucking Christ. Tough guy. Sidebar.
Okay. That.
And he kind of talks quietly, leading in and turning away from the rest of the party. He goes, "Are they like, do they know?"
Yeah, they'll be fine.
But they were talking about airplanes.
They know. They tried to keep you in the blind, just in case.
Oh, what dipshits. And he looks over at Avery,
can you
because
do
I know
me a
that you
favor?
mentioned... What?
Can you do me a favor?
What?
Can you promise me you won't leave this island without us?
I mean, I can't promise, like, I value my life over your lives, but, like, within reason,
I'm going to stick out my hand, shake on it.
only if, and he shakes, it's like, and you're not gonna steal this boat, because I kind of did, I claimed it first, like, your friend kind of did, and he, like, looks over, good job, buddy, good job.
Haven't driven a boat since 1982. Felt good to get behind a wheel again.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. And he looks at Thea and he goes, I'm Lorenzo Havoc. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Havoc.
Yeah!
Knew it.
Yeah, I knew it was Havoc too.
I know. It's just the confirmation.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
because this is Kip to Casey right now. Because of my ability, one of my not secrets, one of my tools is pacts.
Is a what?
Is a pact. You
He
can
literally
Nice!
cannot break that.
I am
Yes.
here for that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
He cannot break it, and neither can I. So I cannot leave the island without him, and he cannot leave the island without me. In good reason.
I love it. And then Robert, with the get out of dodge ability that you used with him, he saw that you just had like a knife, essentially. So
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like pocket knives where you can flip it open.
yeah. He is going to reach into his
and
pocket.
then
Oh god.
he will also unzip his leather jacket a little bit and let Betsy out.
Oh, Betsy.
Vicious guard dog.
What he's going to do, he starts to hand something to you, but then you let the dog out. Oh, what a cute fucking dog. Orange, you deserve this. And he hands Betsy a taser.
Yes. I lean down to look at Betsy. Do you feel the power, girl? And she'll just look at me in my eyes.
I love that.
Yes.
And Havoc's gonna look at you all and he's gonna go, so I'm gonna check on the power grid. Do you guys want to check on the whatever the fuck that thing was? I don't want to know about that. I'm not gonna lie, I was jerking it when it happened and I really want to get back to it, so like I just need to get the internet back up.
Hey,
And now he's
we
always
did not need to
favorite.
hear that.
I need the
Yeah.
internet too, but not
Kids
for that
these days.
reason.
let's just go check on the fireball.
Alright, you check on the fireball, I'm gonna get the internet back up.
Oh,
Be quick about it.
I'll try. And he'll head off after that. Question for Robert. Do you want to use that telepathic thing now or include Havoc in this, or would you rather save it? Because I'm gonna make the next scene pretty loose because like this is like kind of like if we were thinking of a 3-part sort of thing. I'm thinking like we're close to the end of like Act 1. And then Act 2 is going to be like a very long, open sort of thing going on. I don't want to spoil it, but I feel like the next scene would be particularly long and worth it. But I also don't know where you're going to go after this, so it might be more useful in the future depending on how it goes. I'm just not
sure. Sure. I will allow I'll have Havoc be part of our little group chat kind of thing.
The group chat. Cool.
The group chat.
And,
so let me roll because it's social plus neuromancy for a check. I don't know.
Yep.
Oh, it's for the successes. Okay, so social plus 3 and this is voice. So if I have a social of 2 and a neuromancy of 1, that would be
A TN of 3.
a TN of 3, and then I have 6. I have pillar 6, so that I roll 6 dice to get under 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so he will have to stay within 3 miles of me. I got 3 successes.
Sounds good. That's a lot. in Manhattan terms. Let's be real. Um, 1 second. Let's see, 20 city blocks. That is probably at the entire length of the island. We'll just say it's the whole length of Roosevelt Island, as a radius. So that's pretty much like right now, like the east side of Manhattan and part of Queens. So you're fine.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and Roosevelt Island is just under 2 miles. So
Yeah, you're good. So you do that. There is that mist, and you make your way towards where it's kind of obvious in a way where this thing sort of crash landed, because the mist is kind of like spilling out, from an epicenter, so you could see where the epicenter kind of is just by going in the opposite direction that the mist is going. And you approach closer and closer. Let me just kind of zoom in a bit. And it landed like in this baseball field essentially, and like the effects like rolled out and hit the power grid, but it itself is on the baseball field. And you see this large, sort of like it's like the size. I'm trying to think. Those like cat excavator trucks with the arms that go like this.
Oh yeah, the like digger things.
Yes. It's about that.
Backhoe?
I'm sorry.
It's called a backhoe.
Okay. It is.
I was like, wait.
Get back, ho!
Oh my god.
No.
Yes.
It is essentially that size, but ovular. And it kind of like lands like cockeyed, in the ground. And there's like crackles all around it, and it's like this glossy shape, and looking into it is like looking into an abyss. It's black with these sort of like galactic speckles all over it.
Avery sees that, and his immediate reaction is just, cool.
Let's go touch it.
Not a good idea. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I want to touch it.
It's
I
not a
want
good
to
idea
look.
to touch. Don't touch.
I
You
want
get
to look.
look with your eyes. We had this.
You have
Look
eyeballs
with
on your hands,
eyes.
kid? Use the ones on your head.
But I want to look closely. And his like hands are like almost like twitching. He has to like shove them in his pockets, to, like restrain himself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a picture with the flash on.
I love that. What do you take? Go ahead.
I was actually gonna ask because you brought pictures. Can Dad? Not Dad. Sorry. Brain.
Avery.
Avery take a picture of it, but potentially with his mana skill, would he be able to tell anything about it? Because he uses his pictures to absorb mana from things.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Also, I have the asset danger sense, which means when a new scene begins, I can make a perception check to sense danger.
You can go for it. Sorry, I had to think of how that skill would play into what's going on here.
Oh, that's understandable. Could I use investigation for this as well to bump my my thing up? Because I have the investigation broad skill.
So the danger sense. Can you read me the text on that so I can see if those two are compatible?
Let me find that real quick.
Mm-hmm. While they do that, Avery, what's that roll?
I'm actually not sure how I would go about that. It was kind of just an idea, because you can absorb mana from things, and I was just wondering if he would be able to use that to tell anything about the object he's taking mana from or not. So I don't
Um,
know, because it's not like written in the rules or anything like that. It was just an idea I had.
I will let that happen because I think it makes sense, and also, I know how it can affect it. Like,
Okay, I
so,
will
like I
use a
imagine
simple
you're,
harvesting check then.
yeah,
Let me go
Uh,
down to where it actually explains that.
so danger sense as written is make a perception check when entering a new situation to sense danger.
sounds good.
So would I be able to use investigation for that or no?
1 second. You said it. I heard you. I understood nothing.
That's
So,
fair.
make a percent sense danger. Uh, yeah, that's kind of. Yeah, it seems weird. And maybe devs can clarify because it seems weird that that's a asset when it's just like anyone can make a perception check at any time. So I'm not sure how that would be any benefit to take. So for now, because you did take a skill in it, I would say you can add your perception uh, rank in addition to your investigation,
Okay, cool.
as if it was like an extra rank in a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the difficulty for harvesting mana is dependent on the object. It's I have the chart up in front of me. The highest written here is 3 for a rare precious crafted item, and then for something that has a name, like a creature, it would be 1 plus the name. So I'm just gonna roll based off of a difficulty 2 or 3.
Sounds good.
Um, and then for rolling that, it's a slow 4 roll against spirit.
Robert, what was your check?
I got 2 successes.
Um, you're able to sense that as it stands, it is not dangerous, but you are getting like bad vibes.
Okay.
But like, as you know, in its current state, it is not really doing much.
Okay.
It seems like ripping through the fabric is what caused the excess of fog to enter. This thing seems to just be what was hurled down to make that happen. The object itself um, is kind of like a neutral party.
Okay. So this isn't the danger the tear in the sky is gonna be.
Correct.
Alright.
For now.
Yeah.
Tide. There is a lore skill. Don't spoil it for the party. But can you roll that lore skill for me?
Um, so what do I?
So you are going to whatever. So there's that lore that you have. Don't spoil. You have, I
Okay.
think, either 1 or 2 ranks in it. What did you put that
Yep.
in? What trait did you put that in?
It's intellect.
Okay, so you're gonna take the ranks that you have in intellect plus the ranks that you have in that lore skill, and then you are going to roll the dice that you have in that pillar.
All 7. Um, I gather all my dice.
And don't worry, we're almost done with this. This is the last scene of the night, and I need to leave it on this.
Okay. So my intellect is 3. My lore is 2. So I got a 0, a 4, 2 5s, and 3 7s.
Perfect. We're gonna save that. Avery, what was that? photo check.
Well, I had a panic attack when I first saw the dice because I rolled a 10, but that is actually a 0. So
Nice.
I got 3 successes.
All
I got
right.
a 1, a 2, and a 0.
Sounds good. I'm going to give you because you got a lot of successes, and I don't want to be a dick DM. So I'm going to let you choose sort of what happens when you're used to harvesting mana from objects, and as you what was I gonna say? Take this picture and try and harvest the mana from it like you're used to. It's the opposite effect, and you start to feel your mana being pulled from you into it.
Okay. At that point, he's gonna cut off the, like, flow so it's not coming from him. But he does have, since he has the mana ability and he can have free mana, he does carry some with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna pull out a couple of he takes pictures at like big cultural gatherings and stuff like that and
Yep.
harvests mana from gatherings and from new sites. And he'll take out like 2 pictures he has that have mana in them and kind of, card throw them, toss them over to it to see what happens when it gets just a single mote of free mana
I love
touching it.
that. That's beautiful. And you choosing that is gonna affect a lot. Tide. Um, with your successes, you know exactly what this is. You didn't think that they existed. You know that they are powerful, wonderful beasts. But
What did I just
also,
feed?
this particular one, is an agent of chaos. One that is uncontrollable. It and not at its will. It's not it can't help itself. It just is. And as Avery feeds the single mana into it, the eggshell cracks and light starts spewing out of the little fractals that appear in this large eggshell. And a set of amazing wings burst out of the shell with the sort of like the little goop of the yolk. Like, sorry, chat is making me laugh. And it shudders and stands suddenly 20 feet tall. This void dragon, pure black in color, with the galactic sparkles and almost and a single like sun in its chest glowing brightly, this orangey pink color. And it looks around and lets out a terrible roar. Avery, you feel a connection to it.
Of course he feels a connection to the Chaos Dragon. What do you mean?
It couldn't have been a more perfect character. And you feel a similar sense of it feels free. That it has its, at long last, a domain to take over. And you hear a woman's voice behind you after this sort of like the roar cuts through, and there's a short silence as you all behold this void dragon. And you just hear, "You shouldn't have done that." And that's where we'll end it for this week.
Now,
I mean,
after I've done
yeah.
the thing, I am sensing that I may probably have made a mistake. But of course Avery fed the void dragon, the Chaos Dragon.
Who else?
Oh my god.
If it wasn't you, it was gonna be someone else. Let's be realistic.
I thought Dad would
Yeah.
touch it.
He was about to.
He was going
He
to
actually
don't
listens-
touch.
Yeah, he listens to Avery.
Avery, don't touch it. It could hurt you. But also, what happens if we feed mana to it? But I didn't touch it, so it didn't directly hurt me.
If we wanted to give a quick 5-minute debrief of mechanics, what we felt worked, what we felt we weren't sure about, what was particularly fun, and kind of like strictly that, like, not, let's not review the content of the story. Let's kind of like view like how do the mechanics allow us to narrate and have fun. And we could point to specific moments, but we're not going to like, oh yeah, I liked it when the Void Dragon came out, because that doesn't really tell us about the mechanics.
Once we started putting things into practice, things made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the character creation process was legitimately difficult. But now that I'm seeing, it actually work and how to do it and stuff like that, the hands-on aspect made it a whole lot easier. And so I feel more confident now that I can see it in practice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Other party members?
It's very interesting because I've never played a D10 or a D6 system. I've only ever played with D20s. It's very interesting doing the successes and the failures.
Yep. I
It's
love
very
threshold
weird to me.
systems so much. Go ahead.
After understanding like exactly how many dice we were supposed to roll and for what, it makes a lot of sense, and I like that it feels more like lifelike and kind of more organic, and that you can describe things and help other people with stuff is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I do like that aspect where we can help other people, and we describe how.
Like, I like the fact that the NPC couldn't start the thing, and he rolled it as like, wait, but can I help him because I can give a success to him, and he was one short, and so I was able to do that in a way that didn't just feel like, oh yeah, no, I'm obviously helping him. Like there was a way that
I do
was
the
helping.
help action. Take your advantage, you pleb.
Yeah, like there was more to it than just having advantage.
No, I like that.
So I liked that.
Cool.
Actually,
Any other...
narrating things is very fun
Mm-hmm.
with your own story.
Yeah, I'm gonna try next week to take more of a step back. Like sometimes I can't help myself, but I'm gonna try and let you all narrate a bit more next session. Any concluding thoughts before we sign off for the night?
I'm very happy that I got to use my pact power. That was very fun. Okay.
Awesome. My dogs can sense. They hear it in my voice whenever I'm about to end a game. So hello, Bowie. Thank you for joining us. You cannot create a character. I'm sorry. But yeah.
Let him
in. Maybe next week. This we've got a Betsy cosplay right here.
Perfect.
So you've already got
I fucking love Betsy.
a fan here, Robbie. But anyway, oh, and Ren, you could see your drawing that you made for me.
Oh, hey.
Right there.
Cool.
But anyway, thank you all for playing. Chat, you are wonderful. I'm looking forward to next week where we see what the fuck happens. Love y'all. Peace out.
It'll be great.